term it. It's Pasculi running. Can't control the ball, but should have an opportunity to come back. Oh, too high. Free kick will go the way of Don Pasculi. And from the centre wing at Central Oval, Don Pasculi to drive the Bulldogs deep into attack.
Craig Cox standing by himself. So the ball goes into the forward line. Cox not in a position. Comes back towards where Central Augusta's Diorio tries to punch it away. Baker gets hurriedly kicked her foot to the ball. Gets up towards the South Augusta player there in Vast, who slams it straight back into the pocket, but it's all Central Augusta, and we see a mark there to Dennis Beaton going backwards. Comes back now. Nice low little kick looking there for Diorio, but it's gone past him to Cock. Cock gets a handball over looking towards Edmead. The ball went straight past him. He's run right into those very deep pockets. All sorts of troubles getting past Beaton. Now gets it onto the right foot. It'll be a score, but only a minor one to the South Augusta, and they'll go along to 2 points. Yet to be a major posted in this game. South Augusta having all the attack.
There's the kick by Blasick. Not a very good-looking kick, but Naderbaum's the target. Hines again gathers strongly, sets himself from 45 metres out in towards goals. It's going to blow into the goal square. Ooh, nearly a mark. Offhands it comes. Beaton's being held. We're not in possession. And Dennis Beaton from the full-back left position to clear for Central Augusta. They're under pressure as Beaton drives out towards the scoreboard wing. Offhands it goes. Cox scouting loosely again. Another left footer back towards full forward. Blasick, an awkward one. Oh, good grab, Blasick. It was an awkward one as it floated in. And Blasick takes the mark on the kick-off line. Goes short. Michael Fuller's the target. Not a very good-looking kick. Fuller has enough strength to get onto his left boot as he goes out wide and finds Naderbaum, who's loose. Chance to bounce once, twice. Now Naderbaum looks towards the half-forward line as he drives towards that position, but it's South Augusta in front, and the mark being taken by Tony. No, that's Murray Vast on the half-back right position for South. Onto that left foot. Back towards the half-forward line. Players set themselves. Fuller too strong. No South Augusta player flying, and Fuller quickly plays on. Handballs on towards Diorio. Diorio sets himself. Again up towards half-forward. McDonald's there. Off hands go. Reed's loose. Thought about handling too long. Should have gone for holding the ball. Kerrin comes through. Couldn't take the ball with him. And now we see Reed back in the play. A dribbling left foot kick. Up towards the forward pocket. Plenty of bodies there at the moment, and a throw-in to take place in Central Augusta's full forward left position. And this is the furthest that the Blood and Tars have been into attack so far in this game.
They messed around with it a little bit too. Reed had a couple of opportunities there. The ball gets brought in now. Kerrin going in for it with Page. Neither player got near the ball. Out to Page now. Gets a handball over to Diorio. It's up in the air.
Goal.
Yes, it's for Central Augusta's first score, and they've gone along to 1 goal. First major for the game. And that was to Diorio, Robert Diorio, 2 of them, of course, playing. And snapped out of the back of the pack. Central Augusta now 1 goal, 6 points to South Augusta, 2 points. Took them a while to get in there, but once they got in there, they didn't mess around with it. And very quickly for a score. Umpire about to put it back into play.
Handy goal, Roger, as South Augusta have the breeze in this first term. Fury starting off in the bounce again. In opposition to Parsons. Almost should have been a kick to Parsons. Cox scouting loose, puts it forward beautifully. Onto the player in Dunkley. Dunkley with time now as he gets onto his right boot. 35, 40 metres. That's offline, I think. Yes, it is. Oh, bad miss, Ashley Dunkley. He had the opportunity, virtually running into an open goal, and was badly offline, and the Bulldogs are 3 behind from as many scoring shots, and Central Augusta have that handy goal on the board in kicking against the breeze in this first term.
Ashley was full-back last year too.
Right, there's players falling over from that kick-in. Russell's there, couldn't pick it up. Naderbaum into the fray. Out we see the ball towards the player in Dunkley again. Gets it around the arms of Fuller. Long handball, scouting one. On it goes and turn towards the player in Rosie. A long way down. All the half-back flankers kicked a goal. Doug Rosie put it through, and the Bulldogs bring up their first goal. They move along to 1-3 there, 9 points. And the Blood and Tars are 1 goal, 6 points. It's only 3 points of difference at about the 7-minute mark of the opening term in the 1982 SGL Grand Final.
I think he was following his player down, Norm. He's gone back to his position. There's not a Central Augusta player within 20 yards of him. So good backup play there by Doug Rosie. He followed it down. An awkward-looking kick, but it was certainly effective as the ball comes back to the centre now, where Berry's still on the ball. A rather large player. Don't fancy Parsons running straight at him. In fact, he's coming in on angle. Parsons caught under the ball again, but Berry gets the tap, then gets the ball, takes it to the ground. Fumbling around on the ground there. O'Grady couldn't pick it up at all. Pasculi goes without the ball. Coming through there for Central was Cummins. Ball still on the ground, and Cummins is going to earn himself a free kick and goes back almost in the centre of the ground to take his kick. Goes up now, looking slightly to the right-hand side of centre. Lots of players under it. Hines there spoiled a centre. McDonald tries to handball it away. Hines again gets it back to Pascouli, gets it clear. South Augusta got a bit of a run, but they've struck a little snag now as Pascouli gets it up again. Handballs over the top of the pack. Here's Rosie again. He's certainly covering a bit of ground. Belts it into the left forward pocket, looking for his player there, but good mark to Beaton of Central Augusta over the top of Edmead. Had the bit of a sit and virtually reached him over. Low little raking kick looking for O'Grady. He's got a paddock to work in, though South Augusta rapidly closing, and up they go towards the centre of the ground. Under the ball there for were a couple of players, but they brought it to the ground. Now we get back to native ball. Long handball to Cummins. Cummins dodges around a player, now sinks it forward. Not going to cover a lot of ground, but Central Augusta got the run of it, although now South Augusta have come past them. A good handball out to no man's land. Now Evans about to pick it up. Gets it onto the right foot up towards Central Augusta's goal. 1-on-1. And thumped through by South Augusta's defence, so first minor score for Central Augusta. Good defensive play there by South, and Central go along to 1-1, trailing South Augusta on 1-3.
Here's the ball to be kicked in. South under pressure, having the aid of the breeze in this first term. Wobbly looking punt kick. Players set themselves almost a free kick. Rosie, Michael Diorio into the back of his opposing player. Doug Rosie playing well in this opening term, kicking the only goal so far for South Augusta, and now with the chance to clear from the half-back line. Rosie goes for distance, sets it up high. Again, Russell's the target. Fuller from behind, good fist. Off hands it goes towards Sullivan. Sullivan's on the left boot now as he hooks in towards half forward. Players set themselves. Off hands it goes. We see they play handball towards Dunkley. Couldn't grab hold of it. Dunkley's back again to Cock. Cock will go short. And now we see Corey, point blank range, Michael Corey, and puts it through. And South Augusta used good handball on that occasion. And I think Cock might have copped one behind the play as we see a Central Augusta player being spoken to. But the goal's on the board for the Bulldogs as they move along to 2-3. That's 15. They hold an 8-point lead over Central Augusta, who are 1-1-7.
Actually, the first handball on that wasn't all that good from Feebig coming out. He missed it. He was quite disgusted with himself, but South Augusta players were able to capitalise on it. And through a chain of hand passes through Dunkley and Cock, see that Corey come away and scored. The ball about to be put down in the centre of the ground again. Same two ruckman. Parsons up high this time. Clambers over the top of Berry. Pascouli in there. The ball comes out towards where the Central Augusta player tries to get out. Dunkley to the ground. Pascouli into the...
Cheeky Touchwood.
Yes, a little bit. He was hindered a trifle, but he was more or less in control of the ball. Away goes Pascouli again. Brings the ball up into South attacking zone. Waiting down for the crumbs is Edmead, but it goes over the back where Cock had a touch to it. Edmead tries to get a handball back. It's nearly over the line at that stage, but the free's gone to Beaton. He's got a few touches early in the game in that back pocket. He's standing Edmead. And Beaton hidden behind the members' bar at the moment, brings it back into play.
There's the ball off hands. We see Reid with a left footer, chips it short where he's looking for the player out there in John O'Grady, and O'Grady goes back to take the kick just backward to centre. Handballs to Michael Dior. He's in trouble, too slow, got to go for holding the ball. He beat one, trying to beat a second, and the kick goes to Ashley Dunkley, doing well on that half forward line. Goes across the ground. He's got to Phoebe, got a lead. Reid's pushed aside, goes towards Blasick. Off hands it goes where we see Central Augusta having the chance to clear through the player in Brandon Collins. Goes out wide. It's red jumpers in the form of South Augusta getting to the ball, but we see the ball being pushed along the boundary line. Rosie's there, chips it back short. No one can really get the ball as it's being pushed towards the boundary line. Handball over the top. Cummins is there. He can't control it. Rosie's bustling again in the play. Offhands have come beautifully picked up by the player, Robert Diorio. One bounce, second bounce. He's looking for someone short. Chips it short towards McDonald, the Page. Page has taken the mark as his opponent falls over. And from 45 metres out, he slams it through on the left foot. Goal, and the Blood and Tars get their second goal on the board. They move along to 2-1. That's 13. It's only 2 points of difference in the grand final as Central Augusta doing well kicking against the breeze in this first term.
Very weak defence there by South Augusta, Norm. They let those players run along like they're having a picnic out there by themselves. Diorio, for instance, ran about 30 yards before anyone thought about going anywhere near him. Then Page was able to turn around and still no opposition, put through a fairly easy goal. Back to the centre of the ground again. Same two ruckmen, Parsons and Berry, doing the majority of the work as we get to about the 12-minute mark in the first quarter. There's infringement. Someone's stepped in before their time. Cummins. So who's going to get the kick? I should say Pat Hines in the centre. Hines will no doubt sink it long. Gets into a drop punt down there looking for his forward line. Up high was Fuller, punched it away. Edmead underneath it, gets the ball, gets it pinned to him. And we'll see a bounce down on the half-forward line for South Augusta. Umpire coming in now. Underneath the ball is Russell. He'll go for the tap, although now it's Dunkley goes up. Going through Hogg, like the Sherman tank. Reed goes to ground with the ball. Pascouli goes without it. And there's been a free there. Hogg put Pascouli out of the game, and in the umpire's opinion, Pascouli wasn't involved in the play, and we'll see a free.
I think John Hogg unlucky on that occasion. He used his chest to go at the player. I think he was dead unlucky. Here's Pascouli from just forward of the half-forward line.
Nice kick.
Good-looking kick up towards the goal mouth. Players set themselves. Off hands it goes. There's a big group of players converging, and a free kick going the way. This time of Central Augusta, the way of Reg Reed. Handballs
Even
on towards Michael Fuller. That kick is short. No real distance, and it goes towards Sanders. Sanders be placed under pressure. He's legged. He must get a free kick. Unlucky on that occasion from Dunkley, and Sanders, that 15-metre penalty will now go against the
McCullum,
South Augusta player in McCullum. Another 15-metre penalty. Bad football by McCullum. He had 2 opportunities to get the ball back, and can't afford to give valuable ground in a tight game such as this one. Up towards half-forward. Naderbaum's there. Hines. Pascouli shepherds. Off hands it goes. Hines working on the ground, and there's by-play on the side of that pack where Naderbaum and Pascouli were involved, and Pascouli's again the receiver as he gets the chance to kick up towards half-forward. Good-looking kick. Russell the target. Off the back. No, it's going to be off hands. Fuller's there. A left footer as he goes out wide, and we see the player in leading the race to Tony O'Grady. Rosie comes through, uses his body strongly, tries to get the handball short, and it's now being called a throw, and a free kick going the way of the player in Neil Sanders.
That's O'Grady.
That's O'Grady again. Up towards the wing. Players there. Awkward for both lots of players. On towards Rosie. He's clear. Plenty of chance to steady and settle. Bounces once. Now a kick long up towards the half-forward line, and we see Corey in opposition to a Central Augusta player who's taken the mark on that occasion, Brandon Collins, and Collins has taken the mark at the 3rd attempt.
More than that on our kitchen table on a Saturday night. Away they go now up towards the wing for Central Augusta. A lot of players in that pack. The whistle sounded, and there's a South Augusta free out of that. Pat Hines, he was the one in front of the pack, and they all used him as a ladder. And Pat Hines now using a bit of experience, getting into the front of the pack with going into the wind. Sinks the foot into it now. A bit of a screw punt, goes up towards the forward line. Players high. Comes down towards Diorio, and also McCullum tries to get the handball away. Dunkley thumps it forward. Getting through the pack is Ed Mead. He's got Hogg right on behind him, however. And good play there to the captain of Central Augusta, Hogg, as he comes away with the handball now to Sanders.
FAD.
Free after down the ground as Sanders turns around now. Goes towards Naderbaum, who has it thumped away from him behind, so there's a good duel developing between those pair. Out towards now where we see Sullivan get away, struck I should say, go around with the ball, gets past one player, handballs into the forward line, bad handball to Beaton. Beaton, no, he could have thrown it as far. Gets it back towards the South Augusta players, so the free kick there to Diorio, handsballs it to Michael Diorio. It wasn't all that flash, but they get away with it, Central Augusta, and go towards the forward line where O'Grady's grounded very large lumps. Oh, a bit of a smack behind the play there, and O'Grady felt the wind of that one. It's a bit of the spite starting to creep into the play, Norm, as they come into the forward line for Central Augusta, but the whistles, no, back to Hines again.
There's Hines and Kerrin behind the play having words with the player. John Hogg's there, can't take the mark. Off hands it goes towards McCullum. Time to settle now. He's getting onto that left boot as he kicks back towards half forward. Beaten. Awkward bounce. Dunkley's there again, having several chances in this term. Off hands it goes. McCullum's there again. Didn't put his body over the ball enough. Now it's Feebig trying to get away, and it will be a bounce up on the half forward left position for South. A lot of fumbling and elementary mistakes being made as players feeling the pressure of the 1982 grand final.
Very sore Tony O'Grady in the middle of the ground.
Here's the bounce down. Fuller to do battle with Dunkley. Off hands it goes. We see the ball coming towards the player in McCullum. Short. Off hands it goes. We see Corey looking to handball towards Feebig. Feebig's clear. 35 metres out. Should be a goal. He's been flattened up as he went to kick, and that kick was offline, but Feebig will take the free kick. Only 35 metres out, almost directly in front, and Beaton being spoken to by the central umpire. And now we see the stretcher being called for, by the looks of things, by the South Augusta trainers.
Pick the player up, Norm. Who is it?
Yeah, it's Robert Feebig lying on the ground. South Augusta player and Craig Cock coming back with the ball, but I bet the South Augusta supporters would rather see someone else kicking, and he wisely handballs to Derek Edmead, and that's a pretty fair choice anyway.
Tony O'Grady is still in the hands of the trainers as well, so there's a little bit of rough play coming into the game early in the first quarter, only about to the 15-minute mark.
Feebig still on the ground. Edmead with will be the player to take the kick.
Probably wait till they clear the ground there, Norm.
And now play being directed away from that injured player lying on the ground, and Robert Feebig, in fact, has been moved into a slightly better position, as now we see Edmead directly in front only 35 metres out. A vital kick. The Bulldogs lead by only 2 points. Players at both ends of the grounds receiving attention. There's Edmead's kick. Is that on line? I think it is. He doesn't miss them very often. And that's through the middle. Derek Edmead brings up South Augusta's third goal. And the Bulldogs move along to 3-3. That's 21 points. An 8-point lead over the Blood and Tars, who are 2-1-13.
Well, I saw the incident of Tony O'Grady. That was a fair enough, or not quite a fair enough, stiff arm. I didn't see what happened to Feebig, but he's very sick and sorry for himself. And I think the South Augusta team will be making a bit of an interchange here. The other player, O'Grady, is back into the end of the living again as we're back to the
I can tell you one thing, Roger, that the actual knock he did receive was fairly high.
Right. So let's hope that doesn't make a habit of itself in this game and the umpires can clamp down on it. Players, of course.
He's looking very sick and sorry as he comes off, Robert Feebig.
Yes, I'm glad I'm sitting up here and not in his shoes, actually. But the game being held up a trifle, do they make a switch? And we're going to have Laurie Benson come on. Benson, of course, played in last year's grand final side.
I think he looks pretty concussed to me, Robert Feebig.
Yeah, I don't think he really knows where he is. As Berry goes up with Parsons now. Berry on the way down gets the big right arm cross over towards the Central Augusta player. The ball goes clear. Goes through there to Blashik. Blashik bursts past Cock. Very strong player to try and stop Blashik as they come back into the centre now, where Sanders gets a Parsons gets a handball away. Diorio tries to get to the Sanders. Chips it over the top, but South Augusta are going to get in the front there, and they'll come away through Vast. Vast kicks it down towards along the wing position. All Central Augusta, though, on the easiest of marks there to Naderbaum. Naderbaum back now. Right foot screw punt, a bit of wobbly kick. Goes up towards the middle of the ground, where we find that South Augusta come away with it again through Vast. He's starting to show up a little bit on the half-back line. Back to Naderbaum. They're keeping it amongst themselves. Now Cummins gets a mark on just on the edge of the square. Central Augusta heading into the wind, not doing too badly at it. On the lead was McDonald. Good enough to get it back again after it hit the ground. Goes back towards O'Grady. Dribbles it off the foot. South Augusta, there are numbers with Doug Rosey coming out with the ball. Gets it over towards where Corey's a couple of yards in advance of his player Collins. Gets it out towards no one in particular, and Collins here can have a field day. Gets to the ball 5 metres in front of everybody else. Time to steady. Gets it back now towards the edge of the square. A few Central Augusta players there, but the ball not playing into their hands. Now Diorio comes away, right up into the goal square, right over the top. Good shepherding page, although it was a little bit too high, and Central Augusta put on another one, and they'll go along to 3-goal-1, and that's 16 points. Trailing South Augusta 3-3, and Norm, it's not too much of a distance for the slight wind advantage that South Augusta have got.
The ball does seem to be wobbling around a fair bit, and players are having a lot of trouble in controlling the ball, and really the game has been fairly tough and hard fought so far without any real brilliant passages of play. That was well set up by Robert Diorio then as he handballed to brother Michael, and the third goal came on the board. Bury battling hard in the ruck in opposition to Parsons. He's making sure he makes body contact every time the centre bounces occur, and this time it's a free kick going towards the hard-working Bury from the centre of the ground. Handball towards Hines. Hines knows they need distance as he kicks long. 60 metres it's gone. Oh, great mark, Michael Fuller. Came across the front of the pack. Russell hasn't been sighted yet, and we see Michael Fuller from half-back getting a 15-metre penalty as McCullum gives away his third 15-metre for the term.
Yes, he's not exactly covering himself with glory as Fuller now puts it up towards the wing position. Bit of a struggle, or one-handed mark there to Hines, but he's given away the free kick to Naderbaum, and these two are developing into a really good struggle here today as Naderbaum swings it up into attack for Central Augusta. Evans underneath the ball. Good mark, Evans. Wasn't a lot that Kerrin could do with that, and Evans able to hang on to the ball. Goes back, looks like he's going to try and put it right into the teeth of goal, or he could be ambitious and think that he's got the distance. Eugene Evans.
It's a pretty long kicker of the ball, Evans.
A little bit of wind against him, though. It's into his teeth. Gets under it. It's not going to go far enough. Ball goes right up into the pack. Oh, McDonald over the back. Is it a goal? Yes. No worries. McDonald gets the ball off the fingers of the pack, turned around and was blessed with a sight of a great big open goal square and no South Augusta players in front of him.
It was bad defensive work by the South Augusta players, and there was three South Augusta players flew against Page and Co in the goal square and left McDonald unattended on the ground. In fact, he was the only player who stayed on the ground, and the ball came off hands, and it was the easiest of goals. The Blood and Tars are in front by 4 points for the first time in the 1982 grand final, as we see Bury again in opposition to Parsons. Bury's there, but it's Parsons who wins the tap. Now it goes towards half-forward line. Free kick going the way of the South Augusta player. I think it could be Tony Sullivan getting up the ground. He got one high from Paul Cummins. Just backward of centre. There's Sullivan's kick. wobbling around, not a great deal of distance. Reed almost takes the mark of the second attempt. Cool play on. Reed gets away as he gets the ball up towards half forward. Evans is there, loose, being loosely checked by Kerrin, and a free kick will go the way of Eugene Evans. One of the success stories for Central Augusta in the major round after finding a place on the half-forward line. He'll kick long again, wobbly punt kick. Players set themselves. Page is there, can't pull in the mark. He's got possession again as he looks to handball towards McDonald. There's no one near him again, the goal square. 2 in a row, Bradley McDonald, the red-headed full forward from Central Augusta, gives the thumbs up as Central Augusta sneak further ahead. They move along to 5-1-31 and South Augusta are 3-3-21. It's a 10-point break as we get to almost to the time on period in the 1982 SGL Grand Final.
Well, that's twice now that Malcolm Mitchell's let McDonald stand there by himself. Wouldn't say it was his blame on both occasions, but he must be feeling slightly upset at this stage, as McDonald's put on the last 2 goals for Centrals, and that seen them take a handy 10-point lead going into the wind and the quarter almost laying down as they ball about to be put down onto the ground again in the middle of the oval. South Augusta players need a bit of a lift in the closing stage of the quarter. Berry leans into the players again. Parsons gets a right cross which sends the ball 40 yards upfield to where Diorio gets a go. Handball's back into play towards Sanders. Sanders will get it up towards the centre half forward position. Coming out on a lead is Reed. Miles in front of his opponent. Gets back now. Reed doesn't waste any time. Gets it up towards the players again. Mitchell takes it through for a point, and it's a point to Central Augusta, and they're really peppering the goals in the last part of this quarter, and with good effect. The last 3 attacks have scored 2-1.
Central Augusta getting on top at the moment because of their smaller players such as Michael and Robert Diorio running around the ground. There's the ball up high. Offhands it comes where we see Sullivan being penalised for holding the ball, and the free kick to go to John O'Grady from just backward of the half-forward line with another chance to drive Centrals deep into attack. Blood and Tars get up towards their full forward line. Players set themselves. Naderbaum's up high. There's got to be a mark, Kim Naderbaum, as he got one also high around the neck. And Naderbaum's only about 30 metres out, the very slight angle, and a chance for the Central Augusta centreman to make the 6th goal come up on the board for the Blood and Tars.
Pat Hines felt the foot in the back there too, I think.
Here's Naderbaum. Almost dead in front. McDonald's clapping. The umpire's not moving. And the 6th goal goes on the board as Central Augusta move along to 6-2-38. It's now a 17-point lead to the Blood and Tars as South Augusta struggling momentarily as they're on 3-3-21.
Yes, they've certainly fallen in a bit of a hole in the last couple of minutes. They haven't had the ball their side of centre for a while now. And Central Augusta in 4 attacks have scored 3-1. You can't do all that much better than that. It's a 75% success rate as the ball's back to the centre now, where the clock is on about 24 minutes. Nearly to the end of the quarter, and South desperately need a couple of goals. Berry goes without the ball. Cock fists the ball on to where's the player in South Augusta, Russell, gets one of his few touches, but the ball now being brought up again by the umpires, right in the centre square still. Play a little bit scrambly. Central Augusta starting to sit on the ball a bit as full against the thumb. Goes forward now, and Central Augusta trying to run the ball through. O'Grady now recovered from that knock on the face he got a while ago. Short left foot chips it over towards Cummins on his own. Miles in front of his opponent there in Vast. Cummins gets it up into the left forward pocket. McDonald in front of Mitchell, and he's been paid the mark. I didn't really think he held on to it that long, but the umpire did, and he's the one that counts. McDonald will go back, wind right in his teeth, and he's not all that far out when you have a look at it from where his man on the mark is standing. Now McDonald coming forward, gives it a drop punt.
Kick.
Good, they're clapping. The Central Augusta players are clapping. The South Augusta cheer squad's looking long in the face, and there's another goal to Central Augusta, and they'll go on to 7-2 now, leading South Augusta 3-3, and we remind you that South Augusta have the use of what breeze there is.
Yes, good quarter by Central Augusta. They look to be struggling in the early stages of the term, and these goals late in the term, 3 from Bradley McDonald in particular, and 1 from Naderbaum, have been particularly handy as they've now set up a 23-point lead in the time on period of the opening term in the South, desperately looking for goals to get themselves back within touch. Parsons, but it's Bury getting the tap. Goes towards O'Grady, taps it cleverly towards Robert Diorio, towards Sanders. He can't kick on his right boot. Now we see McCullum doesn't put his body over the ball, but he's still in there battling away. And now we see the ball towards the half-full line, tapped on further. Michael Diorio with the chance, but it's scrambling towards the boundary line. Kerrin handballed over the boundary line on that occasion and took safety first measures, got away with it, and a throw-in to take place now in Central's half-forward right position. Page and wins that tap. goes off hands, where we see Dunkley can't get an effective kick. Michael Diorio's there, free kick, played it cleverly. He had his nose over the ball, tapped it in front of him and got the free kick, and Central Augusta with another chance to go deep into their scoring zone. There's Diorio going short. The lead from McDonald. It's McCullum in front, and then he gets one too high, and McCullum from the half-back position to clear for South Augusta.
Hasn't done a lot for South Augusta, McCullum, as he gets the ball now in one of his first kicks for the match. Gets it down towards Captain Hines, who's right under the pack. Gets his fingertips to it, but Central will come away through Naderbaum. Flick it up towards the forward part for Central Augusta. Now it comes to Reid, over to Evans on the right. Whoop, gets run down, but it could be in the back, and yes it is. And Evans will take a kick here, only about 20 yards out from the goal, 20 metres perhaps out from the goal, after being run down by the South Augusta player there. There wasn't a great deal of choices, I suppose, in the South Augusta player's favour, but Evans, who's already figured prominently in the last couple of thrusts by Central Augusta, and is in good form enough, or well enough form, to put this through without many troubles at all. Evans commencing his run in, chips away. Almost a banana ball there, but it went through. Central Augusta starting to storm along in the last part of this quarter. They've gone to 8 goals 2 now, to 3 goals 3 in South Augusta. And John Reid, the coach of South Augusta, must be just a trifle worried at this point of call, Norm.
I think he'd be extremely worried at this stage, because Central Augusta's key players, Hines, who started the term well in the centre, has died out, and Naderbaum's one of the players who's come into the play strongly, but we've hardly seen anything of Struck and Edmead, and these are two of the key players for South Augusta, and the bounce down takes place again. It's tapped towards the player in McCullum on the left boot. South go into attack. We see Cock with the chance, can't control the ball as it comes off his fingers. Hogg's there and he's playing strongly, but it comes off now towards Edmead. Can't pick up the ball at the moment. It's being going into a big group of players. Sanders is there, he can't pick it up, and they bounce down and will take place close to the boundary line between the centre wing and the left half forward position for South Augusta.
Into time on.
South would be looking for a goal in this late stage of this term. Parsons gets the fist, goes to McCullum again. Off hands it goes. He's played strongly, but without much real effect. McCullum dropped the ball on that occasion, and the free kick going the way of Naderbaum. He's picked up 5 or 6 kicks in the latter half of this term. They're starting to become a driving force for Central Augusta. Back towards half forward, Vast and also Cummins. No real effective knock on that occasion, but Cummins gives away the free kick, and Maury Vast takes the kick. A big left footer out wide. Sullivan's the target, and they go straight across the ground, South Augusta, with Sullivan now having the chance to drive South Augusta towards their half forward line. He goes long, and players set them to Corey in front. Good mark, Michael Corey, in opposition to Brandon Collins, and Corey will now go back and drive South Augusta along in towards the half forward line. No, he chips it short. Sullivan's run a long way down the ground, takes that mark, handball's on. Cox there, he doesn't pick up the ball, goes towards Chrissy Struck. Diorio's on his hammer, he breaks that tackle, sets himself, and it's through, I think, for a goal. Yeah, South Augusta come back. Great goal by Chris Struck. He broke that tackle from Michael Diorio. Steadied, settled, and South Augusta get a badly needed 6-pointer on the board as South move along to 4-3-27. The margin is 23 points as Central Augusta are 8-2-50.
Yes, it's one that South Augusta were hoping for a long way before that. And Struck didn't have it all his own way. A very close thing to holding the ball over there, but he shrugged Diorio off just in time, steadied himself, and had the open face of the goal to shoot at, and promptly made no mistake. As soon as you mention one of these players are going quietly, what do? They bob up. But however, the umpire about to put it down. We're into the 30-minute mark of the first quarter, so a long quarter to start off. Parsons now climbs into the air, thumps it up towards the forward line for his side. The South Augusta bring it away. Down underneath it is Diorio. Swings around with the right foot now over the top of Parsons' head, who was following it down. Back towards Page, though, however. He handballs back. There's 1, 2, 3 Central Augustas. Parsons only has to kick it straight, and that's what he's done. And there's a quick reply from the Central Augusta side. Bit of loose checking there. There was 3 Central Augusta players. All had a chance to get it. Parsons was the one that picked it up, and he's put a goal alongside of his name for Central Augusta. Now they roll along to 9 goals 2, and immediately stretch that advantage back out again over South Augusta, who remain solitary on 4 goal 3.
A lot of looseness in that South Augusta full back line at the moment. And a lot of it's being created by players running down the ground and not being checked. And on that occasion, we saw Bradley McDonald again in the goal score unattended, but Parsons could have either handballed and kicked accurately. There's the bounce down. We see it going towards Cock. He didn't really drive at the ball hard enough. McCullum tries to knock it towards Corey. Corey in turn goes towards Hines. The Bulldogs, it's an awkward bounce for Hines, but he gets the ball towards the running Cock. He's going to be placed under pressure by Michael Diorio, who's working hard in this first term. Cox was still with control. An ugly left footer as it goes back towards the half-forward line. The ball bounces favourably for Reid. Reid in turn handballs towards Robert Diorio. He picks it up cleverly and gets up towards the half-forward line looking for Cummins. The player's got to run to the ball. Handball's long. Evans is loose. Evans with 15 metres to spare. Bounces once. The long-legged half-forward flanker up toward full forward. It won't come back enough. It's offline for a minor score, and Centrals move along to 9-3-57. The margin is 30 points as South are struggling on 4-3-27.
We've had 32 minutes of play in the first quarter so far as South Augusta bring it out. Looking there for Benson, who's starting to rise for the ball. Central Augusta spoil, however. Benson gets a left cross, which gets it over. Now Sockers it off the ground, but there's plenty of Central Augusta players as Sanders picks it up. Handballs it over where Pascouli will get the run of it. Pascouli handballs away in front of him. Very doubtful. The umpire let it go. Good at umpiring there. The Central Augusta players try and work it out. Now Lamshed comes around. Gives a worm burner along the ground now as we see the South Augusta come away and struck with a yard of pace. Handballs it over to where we see Dunkley. I thought he went off for drinks at the last part of this quarter. I haven't seen him. Down towards Ed Mead, who's lurking there amongst the mushrooms himself. Gets around Hogg, who's bearing down rapidly. Ed Mead in towards the goals. A couple of bits of hanging on to the goal square, and I think we'll see a 3 to South Augusta's McCallum. Yes, Baker was trying to tuck his hand into his pocket there, and McCallum will come away and have a deliberate shot for goal as the siren sounds, and the best he can do is take the score along to 5-3. They're now 5 goals in front, Central Augusta. Will they remain so? No, they're now 4 goals in front as McCallum puts that one through. And the scores at the end of the first quarter, Central Augusta 9-3, South Augusta go along to 5-3. So 4 clear goals in favour of Central Augusta, who have played better for the majority of the term.
Taking a car onto a racetrack demands thorough preparation of the car, equipment and driver. Experience and skill, hours of work, a team of people and lashings of dollars. Yet some people think that they can drive a car that's not set up for racing as though they're on the racetrack in one of our race cars. Maybe they'll stay lucky for a while, but in the end their luck will run out. Do you want to trust your safety to luck?
Produced in the interests of your safety by South Australia's own insurance office.
Siren sounds for the start of the play in the second quarter with Central Augusta 9-3, South 5-3. Benson gets the tap, but only down as far as O'Grady. Swings it around onto the right foot, gets it down towards Central Augusta's attack line. McDonald comes out to meet the ball, gets it on the half volley, handballs over to Diorio. Will Central Augusta be able to score in the opening seconds of the quarter? Diorio dithers around with it, gets it out towards a player there in Evans. Evan puts it onto the foot. What's he done? He's put it straight through, and if Central Augusta take approximately 29 seconds to get their first goal. And looking good at it as well. Norm, if they keep going like that, we might see another 15-goal quarter.
I don't think they'd repeat that, Roger, but I think again it was emphasised that Evans was left unattended on his own on that occasion, on that half-forward line, and here's Kerrin, and Kerrin went up to meet the play, and Eugene Evans was left alone and was able to pop through an easy goal. And when you really think of the game so far, not a great deal of Central Augusta's goals have been scored under any real great pressure, which is a bit surprising. There's the bounce down. It's won by Parsons. Goes towards Struck on the right boot as he goes up towards half forward. Collins and also Corey a free kick. Collins was around his neck on that occasion. Quickly plays on Michael Corey as he gets on his left boot. He chips it short. Baker's there, couldn't pull in the ball. Ed Mead as well gathered in by Beaton as he goes out. Now that's Neville Newton on the ground, and the ball goes out towards the wing position. Players doing battle. Offhands towards Sanders, chips it short. Naderbaum's loose, no one near him at the moment. Now he's handball back towards Sanders again. Evans has been left again on that half forward line. No one within 25 yards. If the ball stays in, he had a chance, but it bounced awkwardly for him. And again we saw the situation of the running players not keeping up with the ball, and Kerrin had to run forward to meet the oncoming players and left Eugene Evans unattended.
Not the sort of player you want to leave on his own.
Not exactly with the way he can kick goals. There's the ball. Well tapped down towards the player in Kerrin. Kerrin, a good-looking kick back towards the wing position. Players set themselves. Russell yet to have a kick in this game so far. There's the ball there, free kick going the way of the South Augusta player out there, and it looks like it could be Rosie. Up towards the half-forward line. Cock couldn't control it. He's going to get a free kick, though. Tackled too high. South Augusta had the chance of coming away with the ball on that occasion through the player in Peter Fox, but the ball called back. There's the kick by Craycock. Up towards full forward. Nearly a mark. Off hands it goes. Hogs there. Taps it forward. South Central Augusta coming clear as we see Grady on the left foot. It's bad kick as it goes towards Dunkley. Here's Michael Diorio a long way up the ground as we see the ball going back towards Pat Hines. He couldn't control it. Big group of players starting to congest over the ball, but it's Diorio playing grandly so far in this game. Handball's now towards Naderbaum, who's loose in the Sanders it is. On the left boot as he goes back towards half forward. Page is up high, couldn't pull in the ball. Now it's Kernahan taps it back, but only as far as Reggie Reed. Not much talking. McDonald, no one within 25 yards of him again, and Bradley McDonald steadies himself. Now he elects to fly on, sets himself, bang! It's through the middle. Oh, the Blood and Tars are looking good. They move along to 11.369, and South at the moment of 5.333, and that margin creeps along now to 36 points, which is a clear 6-goal margin, and we've only been playing 3 or 4 minutes of the second term of the 1982 grand final.
Yes, South Augusta like the ball with a wheelbarrow at this stage. They're just not playing well enough, and just about everybody in Central Augusta's 4 goals to McDonald. Just about everybody in Central Augusta's side has lifted. There's a couple of changes. Fox is on for South Augusta, Newton is on for Centrals, but South Augusta have the job in front. They've really got to exert some influence on this game as Parsons gets the ball away towards where Struck shows a bit of pace but goes without the ball. Diorio's got him, and Michael Diorio about to go away with the ball. There's a free kick about to go back to Struck. Struck now looking for a South Augusta player, but they're not giving him much. Hines up there, but outmarked by Naderbaum. Naderbaum in a better position.
Naderbaum's got him right on top in the centre now.
Yeah, it's coming down the wing now, looking for his attacking players. Oh, Evans up, one-handed. Goes down towards where Vast kicks it back up along the wing. Played well early, Vast, but has faded right out of it. Dunkley gets a handball on the South Augusta's player there, and Russell, his first kick for the game, I think. Back to McCallum, and he's out in front of his opposing player in Baker. McCallum a long way out, too far out to score. Looking for something, but South Augusta not giving an overall much. They're all running away from him with their backs to him.
McCallum's been working hard, Roger, since halfway through the first term.
Yes, he didn't do much early, but now kicks it up, and we've got a player there in Corey, but he just failed to take the mark, or the umpire paid it. He's going to throw it in.
Unlucky.
Yes, he nearly had it, but I wouldn't have liked his chances to score a goal from there as the umpire brings it back in, right in South Augusta's attacking zone. McCallum watches it bounce through his hands. Baker comes out to O'Grady, but then changes his mind, goes to Diorio. Diorio gets what's loosely described as a clearing kick, but back to Sullivan. Sullivan will get it over to Cockle. The South Augusta players think it's hot. They don't want it at all, and Central Augusta have got them struggling. Again, it goes to Diorio. Stacks on the mill, and we'll see a bounce up here as Diorio has the ball held to him, and Norm, a few South Augusta players reticent to put their hands on that ball.
Yeah, it's not enough of them winning it with their bodies on that occasion. They've got to be prepared to go at the ball much more strongly in a game such as this, especially at the stage of this particular game.
Second chances.
Yep, there's Michael Diorio back towards the centre of the ground. Hines and Naderbaum in close contact. Hines will gather the ball in on this occasion. Looks to handball, but he goes short where he's found Struck. Struck steadies himself from half forward right, kicks in toward full forward, and we see the mark being taken by Michael Corey, loosely checked by Brandon Collins on that occasion. Corey taking the front position, hugged the ball to his chest, and now with a chance 35 metres out, only on the very slightest of angles, and with a golden opportunity to bring South Augusta's 6th goal onto the board.
I suppose if you persist enough, you must get one working for you sooner or later, Norm.
Corey, 1 goal so far. South Augusta would be delighted if he made it 2. Usually a good kicker of the ball. No, it's badly astray on this occasion. The distance was certainly there, but he was badly astray. Dragged it across with that right boot, and it's a minor score as South move along to 5.434 and Central's 11.369.
South Augusta cheer squad suffering from a case of goose pimples. They haven't had much work to do as the ball goes out. Russell takes a good mark, and will take about his second kick for the match. But perhaps that's a sign of things to come. I know South Augusta supporters will be certainly hoping so. Now Russell goes back, sinks the slipper in, and it goes strongly up towards the forward line where it's punched away by Collins. Gets tapped back by South Augusta. Corey has nothing to do with it. And down on the ground it goes with Ed Mead and a few others in there. The umpire says, I'll have it. And if you can't find out what to do with it, at least I know how to give it a bounce, and we'll see whether South Augusta can put through another score. Only just out in front of the goals. Up it goes. Central Augusta player stacks on the mill as it goes to Diorio. He's got nowhere clear to go. Kicks it around the body now and out only as far as Pasculi, who stopped something on the way through that pack. Sullivan gets it, Fox I should say, gets it back. Marked right by the goalpost by Ed Mead, who kicks it on, and a little bit of sore temper there by a couple of Central Augusta players, but South Augusta get the goal. Didn't look an attractive goal, but it was good enough. It's got 6 points worth, and that's the second goal to Ed Mead. And South Augusta go along with 6 goal 4, trailing Central Augusta 11 goal 3.
South desperately needed that goal, of course. They are really looking down the barrel, but they've looked a bit better in the last couple of minutes of play, and they've had a couple more players of their key players, such as Struck and Russell, starting to get into the game. Here's the bounce down. It will be Parsons again winning a big fist. He's rucked well so far. Awkward bounce. It goes towards Sullivan. Handballs turn towards Struck. He's picking up kicks now much more freely as he kicks towards the half-forward line. Brandon Collins and Michael Corey, and the ball beats both players across the line out of bounds, and a throw-in to take place with the Bulldogs again in attack.
Yeah, South Augusta players starting to come back in a little bit. They're not all that far behind. 29 points, I think it was, as they come through now with Collins getting the kick only as far as the centre of the ground. Enough South Augusta players there, but it went through them, and O'Grady burst through the pack, dodges a tackle, handballs to no one in particular. It wasn't a real brilliant handball there to O'Grady. He's put his other players under pressure as Hockiner gets it out to looking as far as Pasculi. He soccers it off the ground to where we see another South Augusta player. And John Hogg goes through, apologises profusely that he happened to accidentally hit a South Augusta player there. And we'll see that Sullivan is going to take a set shot. Looking for someone up forward. McCallum's in line for the ball. Two South Augusta players, Edmund and McCallum, spoil each other. Dunkley tries to pat it on. Baker goes without it. And the ball gets down onto the turf again, and the umpire will have another effort at bouncing it up. McCallum lost his helmet in that exchange, but two South Augusta players, not a lot of talking. And a little bit of spite creeping back into the game again. We saw a little bit early in the piece, then it settled right out when Central got down and went on with the game of football, and the umpire having a few harsh words to say.
Yeah, Ken Green speaking to South Augusta player there in Struck. There's the fist. Central Augusta winning the rucks at the moment. There's Struck again. Couldn't take on this occasion. Goes to Diorio. He kicks down towards half forward. Reed used his body, and he'll give away a free kick as Rodney Lamshed was interfered with before the ball was in the required period, and now Lamshed to clear from half-back right. Kicks towards the wing. Players set themselves. Oh, that player score his mark, I think, is going to be paid to. No, it's going to be paid to Naderbaum. And Kim Naderbaum from just backward of centre to drive Central's forward again. It's a good-looking drop punt, up looking for Parsons. He's in front, I should say Cummins. Cummins a good mark as he takes that ball at half-forward left, and Central no doubt will again go long and drive the ball deep into attack looking for the target in Bradley McDonald. That's well directed towards McDonald. Kerrin's in opposition, but well disciplined by Kerrin as he kicks, fists the ball away. It's forced further away by Mitchell towards Kerrin. Kerrin with a chance now to get South Augusta moving. He looks towards half-forward where he's looking for the player in Dunkley. Dunkley never really went to drive at the ball hard enough, and Centrals will go back into attack again, but it's all red and white jumpers. Benson never went at the ball. Cummins on towards McDonald. McDonald on the left boot as he drives towards full forward, bouncing awkwardly, and it will go through for a minor score. And Centrals move along to 11-4-70. The margin is now 30 points as South Augusta are 6-4-30.
Yes, a bit of scrambly play there. A couple of players didn't put the body in at the key moment and saw the opportunity go begging. As South Augusta now will bring the ball back out into play. Kerrin it is looking for someone to kick to. Been a few switches in the South Augusta backline, I should say, as they come out to the back flank where Parsons flies high, tries to bring it down, robbed off him by Naderbaum.
That's a great kick.
That's not a bad little kick, swinging around the body. Oh, had an A-grade bounce too, but Kerrin got in the way. Now McDonald's got the ball, have to be over the shoulder. This will be a fluke if it goes through, but there's enough Central Augusta players there. Evans gets up high and punches it through for a minor score for Central Augusta, and they'll go along to 11-goal 571 to 6-goal 440. So the 31 points clear, Central Augusta. Not a bad little margin, about halfway through the, not even halfway through the second quarter. But South Augusta players showing a little glimpse now of the form that they're capable of, as we'll see an infringement. And Naderbaum it is. No, it's going back to Parsons, who was infringed on his run into the ball, and he's got the opportunity to put Central right into the teeth of goal. Nope. That's fooled me. It's fooled everybody else here as well. And Benson gets a free kick. Handballs it to Hine, who dodges around a couple of players. Over to Cock, back to Hine, who runs the 1-2. And now running out of legs, Pat Hines. He kicks it up into the forward line, but a good mark there to Blasek as Ed Mead bit the turf a little early. And Blasek was able to get it and gets a 15-minute penalty to go on with.
There's Blasek's kick out, goes out wide, where he's looking for the player in Naderbaum. It was play, but it comes back towards Sanders. Sanders on the left boot as he goes up towards half forward. O'Grady couldn't pull in the ball. Well, that's Ticky Touchwood on that occasion. The free kick going towards Tony O'Grady, and he'll quickly get on with the play. Directs it across the ground. Naderbaum's the target, and beautifully directed to that player. and Kim Naderbaum, 55, 60 metres out. That breeze appears to be increasing in velocity, only slightly, but certainly a definite advantage as Naderbaum has the chance, 55, 60 metres out, directly in front, and will give it a shake. It's a wobbly punt kick, but it's offline. Plenty of distance, but the accuracy not there. And Central's move along now to 11.672, and South are 6.440. As we see Kieran kicking out again. Wobbly punt kick, the ball being held up. That's marked well by Tony O'Grady. He was the only player within touch of that ball. And he goes across the ground again. Naderbaum's got away. And Naderbaum to have his second direct kick for goals in only almost less than a minute. And Kim Naderbaum, if he gets onto it, again a chance of bringing up a big one. He sets himself, wobbling about again, it's dropping short. Oh, Evans almost pulls it in at the second attempt, goes to ground. Kieran backing up well. He's working hard on the last line, Kieran. Goes to Hines, it's awkward. O'Grady, 45 metres out. Offline though, a minor score again. South are buttering away at goals and can't bring up a big one as they move along to 11.773, and South Augusta are 6-4, still on 40 points.
Opportunity begging there for Central Augusta. Tony O'Grady usually a better kick than that. Come in, had plenty of time to steady, pulled the ball across his body, and we'll see Kieran bring it out once more. The last couple of times he's brought it out, it's gone straight to Central Augusta, so he must be in a bit of a quandary as to where to kick it. Players not giving him a lot. He sinks the slipper in, tries to get a bit of distance, is holding up on the wind as Cock gets his hands to it. Down to the ground though, and Central Augusta in with a chance as Diorio picks the ball up as the whistle sounds, and a free kick's going to Rodney Lamshed, who goes back, and Lamshed playing in the back pocket area, comes to bring it out towards the wing this time. A bit under the ball there was Naderbaum, as was Hines. Surprised both of them there. The wind dropped a trifle, the ball carried a little bit further and went out of bounds. But Naderbaum's exerting quite an influence on this game, and apart from the first 5 minutes, Cock hasn't exactly, Hines hadn't exactly been prominent, and much to Naderbaum's pleasure, I would assume.
Russell now on the ball for South Augusta.
I think he's regretting that as Reid, with a thigh heavily bandaged, picks the ball. But it's going to go back towards where Sullivan it is, gets the kick now and brings it up towards the wing position. Russell underneath the ball, a great pack of players descend upon him. Out goes the handball towards O'Grady, steps clear past the South Augusta player and kicks it down into the forward lines. McDonald leading in the run for the ball. Kieran right on his hip pocket. McDonald got plenty of time to get around. He's a more agile player than Kieran. Goes back into the centre of the ground, and Vast, despite vast troubles there, has managed to mark it. Goes back now looking for someone to give it to. South Augusta players not giving their players further down the field a chance to kick to them. This occasion though, Russell's managed to get in front, decides to take off with wing feet, runs past a couple of Central players, puts it over to Cock, who blind handballs back towards where Hine. They've got a good understanding, those two. They need it the way some of the handballs come out, but Collins now gets the ball onto the boot, puts it down only as far as the Central Augusta player there though is chipped in front of Russell, and can't plug it out. It's Parsons now. Parsons, who's rucked for most of the game for Central. Page hasn't done much on the ball at all. Parsons now gets it down towards his opposite number in Page. Page grabs it, tries to put it out in front of him. Rosie tries to get a foot to the ball as it goes up into the pocket position. Running towards a goal for Central Augusta. McDonald, there's 5. And Bradley McDonald gets an A-grade bounce there and comes away with a goal. And Central Augusta will go on to 12 goal 773 to South Augusta 6 goal 440.
South Augusta in all sorts of trouble as we get to about the halfway mark in this second term. Bradley McDonald just brought up his 5th goal, and again we saw the situation where he's left in the goal square unattended, and those South Augusta players, especially the run-on players in that half-back line, just aren't doing enough running, and they're putting too much pressure on the last line of defence at the moment, and that's causing the real troubles for South Augusta, because their South Centrals are getting goals just far too readily.
Kieran standing McDonald too. I don't know if he's quite fast enough for him, Norm.
No, but he's being placed under pressure, Roger, and the fact that he's got to come and meet players coming down the ground. There's Hines, handballs towards the player in Fox. Fox up towards full forward, and a good mark being taken there, but a free kick I think will be paid the way of Struck. And I wasn't sure what the Z beat for 1 second. And Chrissy Struck, of course, he's got a bandage on his left arm, has a chance 35 metres out, almost directly in front. It's going to be a difficult one into the breeze, but he's judged it beautifully, and South Augusta get a desperately needed goal on the board as they move along to 7-4, and that's 46 points, but they still face a deficit of 33 points as Central's at 12-7-79, and South Augusta in all sorts of trouble kicking into this breeze, which has freshened, and they badly need a few more goals in this term and to restrict the opportunities for that damaging full forward line for Central Augusta.
Yes, we see the ball coming back towards the centre now. South Augusta trying to put a little bit of respectability into the score. And good kick there by Chris Struck. So we think we might have a minor problem here at the moment, but we'll continue on anyway as the umpire puts the ball to the ground. Good thump away by Central Augusta. That was as good as a kick as it runs down towards us between the centre half forward position and the goal position. Diorio in there trying to get the ball. Evans underneath the pack, and we'll see a ball up as they probably just inside the true centre half forward position on the Port Augusta oval. Ball being bounced out now, and the players putting the bodies in. Kernahan over the top, tried to get a bit of a thump away over the top of Page. Cockhand balls it out now to where's Lamshed backing up well. Kicks it out towards the wing position. A lot of space out there and not many players in it as Sanders tries to get the ball around. Hooks it around his body past Reggie Reid, who flicks it off the ground with a slipper. Murray Vars trying to pick it up now but can't quite get down to it. There's a Central Augusta player pushed to the ground, and that's Diorio, and he'll get a free kick with a hand of Murray Vars squarely in his back, and he'll go back just on the edge of the square, and we'll kick it deep into Central Augusta's forward line. Ball goes down now. Pack rises up. Kernahan gets a hand to it. Page tries to claim the mark, but Kernahan had first touch. Now Hines will come out of the pack looking for a player, but he's only gone as far as Diorio again, and he's proving to be a valuable player. Well, both the Diorios are for Central Augusta today. They're quick and mobile around the ground, and they're getting plenty of touches, much to South Augusta's disgust, I would think, because Diorio now a little bit closer than he was last time. Probably try and have a bit of a shot this time as the pack assembles in the goal square. Diorio sinks the slipper in, is not going to make the distance. Page in front gets a little helping shove along the way. Reed tries to burst through the pack, but is out of bounds on the full, and we'll see South Augusta bring it out from their defence.
Every time, whenever the ball goes to ground, Roger, there's always more Central Augusta players who are prepared to get into the middle of those packs and work the ball out. And South Augusta haven't got that sort of player on their side at the moment, such as Robert Diorio and also Michael Diorio.
They haven't got the burrowing player.
That's right. There's the ball going towards the boundary line. There's still plenty of body being used out there. As we see a South Augusta player get pushed out of the play. It comes back towards Russell. He's having trouble in picking it up. And now he's met solidly, but it's kicked clear once again, but only momentarily. Naderbaum, 45 metres out, kicks in towards full forward, but it's going across the face of the goals. Out of bounds on the full, or South Augusta have been inaccurate with all their opportunities in this term so far.
South Augusta player down on the ground on the other side. I think he's done in a collarbone, actually. I think it might be Donny Pasculi.
And we see the free kick in to be taken by Craig Cock. Yes, he was the player I saw get pushed out of that pack on that occasion.
He lobbed under a Central Augusta player.
And here's Craig Cock. One thing about it, no one would be sure where it's going, not even Craig. There's a good-looking kick on this occasion. Naderbaum sets himself, and he's taken the mark. Russell trying to come from behind. Then he tries to burst his way through. Always going to get one from the back. Oh, that's lucky. Handball towards Sullivan. Sullivan in turn towards Pat Hines. He's working hard, Pat Hines, and he kicks across the ground. And the target is Benson. He's in front. Baker caught behind on that occasion, but Benson quickly goes on with the play, knowing goals are desperately needed. Corey and also player in Struck having the chance. Struck, 35 metres out, on the left boot, puts it through. The Bulldogs are back into the game slightly as they get their 8th goal on the board, the second in the row to Chris Struck. And South move along to 8-4. That's 52. The margin gets whittled back to 27 points as Central's at 12-7-79.
There's good play there by South Augusta. They got the ball to run for them on that occasion. They still give the impression, though, that they're struggling more so than Central Augusta. Central Augusta whip it into the forward line a lot easier than South Augusta doing it just at this stage. Donny Pasculi looking very sick and sorry for himself. He's got a problem with his left shoulder. I thought he might have had some trouble with the collarbone, but he looks like he's going to try and battle on as the ball comes back to the centre position, with Central Augusta still holding a handy break as we go to about 20 minutes in the quarter. The ball down on the ground. Parsons up, almost unopposed, gets a thump away in advance of Russell, and the ball goes down into Central Augusta's position once more, where O'Grady balks under the ball, flicks it out in front of a Reed, who's running fast, but now he'll handball back to where Diorio swoops in on. This looks good for Central Augusta. Diorio gets around onto the right foot, but he's dragged across, but there's a mark down there to Page. He's only got to turn around and put it back through, and there's a quick answering goal from Central Augusta off the boot of Jeffrey Page. Left the South Augusta opposition little chance to do anything about it, and Central quickly replied to everything that South Augusta seemed to be doing at this point of call.
They're getting goals so easily, Roger, when they go into attack, and again, not without any real great pressure coming on the side. and South Augusta are certainly struggling. But you've got to give a lot of credit to players like Michael Diorio, because he's the one who on that occasion he had 2 kicks in that passage of play, and he was the one who set it up, and he got Central Augusta into the open spaces again. And he's, in my book, almost the best man afield at the moment, Michael Diorio. Not only doing the work on the ground and picking up kicks, but he's also checking whenever South Augusta go forward and look dangerous.
Which is something the South Augusta players aren't doing when they leave, putting their pressure on their defence.
Parsons winning the rucks handsomely at the moment. They just can't control this ruck work of Parsons, but it's Russell who does it this time. Goes towards John O'Grady, tries to burst his way through, and it will go a free kick going the way of Chris Struck. And he's having kicks in this game now as he gets the ball up towards the half-forward line. Awkward one, Dunkley in front, and he gets a ticky touch with free kick as well as it goes towards half-forward. Dunkley with a chance now to put South Augusta deep into attack, and they'll be looking to convert this scoring opportunity as well to keep themselves in touch. Good-looking kick. Sets it up high. Big group starting to set. Off hands, it's Corey. Corey took it off the back of the pack. All the Central Augusta players were looking to fly again. And Michael Corey, number 23, brings up his second goal in this game. And that's a desperately needed one again for the Bulldogs as they get that margin back to 27 points. And South are now 9-4-58. And it's the Blood and Tars who are 13-7-85, 27 points of difference as we get close to the time-on period of the second term in the 1982 SGL Grand Final.
5 Central Augusta players up there, and Corey at the back of the pack bounced into his arms and able to put it through. Now Russell gets another tap, this time to Hines. Hines clear, gets the chance for a kick up forward. Baker's caught underneath the ball. The South Augusta players try to come out. Feebig's back on the ground.
Hines.
Over to Hines, there by himself, gets a kick. It's a wobbly looking kick and it won't go through a goal. Newton takes the mark right on the last line of defence. Newton in advance of player there in Fox, right back in amongst the South Augusta cheer squad as Neville Newton. I don't suppose he'd mind that, but now he gets taken out of a South Augusta giveaway a 15-metre penalty, and Newton's off and running. Kicks it down towards the centre, looking for Diorio. 2 players against him, but look where the ball goes. Straight to Sanders, although he's had it taken off him by Dunkley. Hogg plays boxing with the ball as he kicks it, puts it through, goes through, takes a few South Augusta players out of it. McCallum loses the ball and runs straight into a Central Augusta player, and he'll get the free kick. But just standing there, Naderbaum gets it now, kicks it long down into Central Augusta's attacking zone. McDonald sees it bounce on his shoelaces and now takes off after it, well clear. He's got plenty of time to manoeuvre, but what's happened? There's
free kick Evans.
Free kick to Eugene Evans against Gary Kernahan, and he doesn't look particularly pleased about the whole matter. But Evans, with a chance to score, he's got a kick on him like an obstinate mule as he stands about the true centre half forward position and looks good for some sort of score on the board here. Lays the boot into it, it's holding up a little bit, goes over the top. Well, it's nearly a Central Augusta mark, but it doesn't matter anyway because it's a goal to Central Augusta, and for everything that South Augusta do, but back comes Central Augusta, and that's Eugene Evans' 3rd goal in this game, and he's really putting in a good effort on that half-forward flank. He's had an opponent switched off him too, Norm. Now at the 25-minute mark, Central Augusta 14-7, South Augusta 9-4. And the long break discussions in the change rooms will be very interesting, especially on South Augusta's part, as John Reid will be trying to instill into his players a bigger effort in the second half.
There's the bounce down. Russell's nullifying the effect of Parsons, but it's Robert Diorio getting the ball out of the centre on this occasion. Lambshed labours to the ball. Reid side turns. Michael Diorio handballed on towards Cummins. Awkward bounce goes towards Maury Vast. Oh, Cummins has got one high. It's a box on behind the play, as we saw Cummins cock one high right on the nose, would you mind? And he and Cummins had words, Kieran had words behind the play, and I think the free kick has got to go to Paul Cummins, and the umpire spotted it on that occasion. He looked back to check the back play, saw the arm go up, and Paul Cummins still holding the, I suppose, still, and a golden opportunity for Centrals, only 40 metres out, almost directly in front. Oh, this could be a costly one as South Augusta were going clear out of defence. Cummins, tell you one thing, he went for a square up. Oh, had to be on the end of it.
Kieran got the square up and also gave away the free, so he's not exactly in popularity at the moment. He's not big on social prominence, but Cummins with the ball, pops it up. There's not too many players moving. No, it's only a point. The umpire ran right across to the left. Well, a game with just about everything at the moment.
Michael Diorio has just come off for Central Augusta. He got a little knock only a couple of minutes ago, and Darryl Daddle has come on. There's Karen. Oh, bad kick. He's kicked the ground. It's Robert Diorio. Awkward bounce to Vast. He's battling hard in defence. Goes to Russell. Awkward bounce. Oh, beautifully done, Tony O'Grady. Carry the ball with him, but now we see it's back towards Karen, on towards the ground, knocked towards McDonald. Comes through the pack beautifully. Now he hooks in towards full forward, but is it online? No, it's offline. A minor score only as Centrals move along to 14-9. They're 93 points. And South Augusta are 9-4-58. Karen kicked the ground on that occasion as he now attempts to kick the ball into play again. Takes no chances this time, holds the ball much higher. Players set themselves. Hines, nearly a good mark. Yes, it's going to be paid to Pat Hines. And we see Cock running away with the ball. And Pat Hines takes the kick on the half-back right position. He's working hard. Naderbaum's been a much more effective player so far, but only because he's got more successful teammates around him. Good-looking kick from Pat Hines. Players set themselves. Fuller, too strong in the air on that occasion, and Michael Fuller quickly goes on with the play. Chips it across ground. Naderbaum and Cummins not talking there. Goes towards Rosie, can't pick it up. Should be a free kick, Doug Rosie, it is. And just from almost the centre of the ground, Doug Rosie to drive South Augusta into attack again. South Augusta looking for their 10th goal desperately. Cox there underneath the ball. Off hands it goes. Players have got to meet the ball. Vlasic, body over the ball, gets it moving towards the boundary line. Cox there. Vlasic still in control. Scoops it nicely to Robert Diorio. The small men for Central's well on top. Good mark being taken on the wing position by Central Augusta's Randall Parsons. And he now has the chance to drive the side deeper into attack. Sets himself for a long one. Good-looking kick. Up toward full forward. Players up. Oh, good mark, Cummins. Over the top of Vast on that occasion. And Cummins has been set alight as he now has the chance to kick deep into attack from 55, 60 metres out, almost directly in front.
This wasn't much wrong with an effort like that to mark a ball, no?
Here's Cummins. Missed the earlier opportunity from closer range. The breeze almost at his back. Sets himself. Oh, bad looking kick on that occasion as well. He only stabbed at it. It's up towards the full forward lines. Off hands it goes. Bouncing towards the boundary line. It's across the line and a throw in now to take place about 10 metres around from Central's right-hand point post.
Time drawing on. We're almost up to about 29 minutes in this quarter. Another long quarter as the umpire brings it in. And Central Augusta's forward line was an infringement on play there. And we'll see Gary Kernahan go back to take his kick after being lent on slightly by Jeff Page. And Kernahan now to put South Augusta out of a little bit of trouble. Kicks it up the outer flank, looking up there for Cock, who's under pressure from O'Grady, but good mark, Cock.
It's the mark, Cock.
I would play it anyway, and so's the umpire, as O'Grady a little bit behind on that occasion. Went for the mark instead of the spoil, and we see Craig Cock. Drops the ball down, not exactly straight in perfect style, but it gets there, and kicks it up towards the wing position, but Michael Fuller jumps in on this occasion, and he'll take the mark. Goes back now with a wobbly-looking drop punt, or what was supposed to be a drop punt, goes towards Russell. Handballs it out to a player that wasn't looking in Craig Cock. He's got a couple of Central Augusta players around him. Struck wasn't offering much assistance there as they go work the ball through the forward line into the Central Augusta forward line now through Fuller, who kicked the ball out, looking for a few spaces out there, and it's Cummins again. He's come alive since that last bit of an instant, the last few minutes. Gets it out to Evans. Mitchell's nowhere near Evans whatsoever. I think he's now standing him as Evans goes back. Plays on around Mitchell. He's got plenty of time to sit and steady. Pops it up. Where's it going to go? And he's only put it through for a point. So Evans blotting his record there after scoring 3 goals earlier in the event. He's now kicked a point or two, and much needed let off, we should say, there for South Augusta.
Centrals in this term, Roger, have kicked 5 goals, 7, plus they've missed several others. There's Russell. Handballs towards Lambshed. Oh, to Rosie. He has a fumble, and he gets the kick away. Oh, it's called an FAD. Oh, come on, it's not that ball. Very ticky touch on that occasion. Cock handballs towards the flat-footed Pat Hines. Now he's got no one to go to, but he gets around cleverly, Pat Hines. Geez, working hard. Back towards the half-forward line. Players set themselves. Off hands it will go. Dunkley taps it on further, only as far as Baker. It's now Johnny Hogg being met. Off hands it goes. Feebeck back on the ground. Oh, it's a dribbling kick. He knows he did it badly as he thumps his thigh, and a throw-in to take place now in the right full forward position for South Augusta. Time slowly dwindling in this second term, and South possibly one of their final opportunities in the second term to score and get a desperately needed goal. Benson wins the tap, only as far as Blassing. Taps it towards the boundary line, towards Fuller. He's dominating across that half-back line. Chips it short to John O'Grady. Handball and turn towards Robert Diorio. Gee, he's been a good player. Bounces the second time. Now he's looking to get onto his left foot as he chips it short towards half-forward. Cummins has got away, one-hander. Oh, he can do no wrong. Handballs in turn towards Dadler. Didn't go up the ball strong enough, Darryl Dadler, but he gets it back towards Cummins. Cummins into a wall of players. Now it goes to ground and a bounce down to take place on Central Augusta's half-forward left position, and South Augusta look to be on trouble on several occasions once again.
Cummins coming alive in this latter part of the second quarter as the umpire puts the ball to the ground. Parsons gets a hand to it as well, but it goes to Dadler and down to the ground again. The umpire will have to repeat the whole exercise.
South in trouble at the moment because they've got nothing across half-forward, and Michael Fuller's controlling that line comfortably. Parsons wins the tap, goes towards Hines, continues to do well, got one high behind the neck. Now we see it's up towards McCullum. Cox reading the play well, but the siren sounds to end the second term with the Blood and Tars holding a comfortable 26-point lead, 14-10-94, and South Augusta a 9-4-58.
We race a car, thousands of hours go into preparation. We use a top car for a start, first-class equipment and people, lots of experience and heaps of money. The cars we'll use on the roads are designed for comfort and safety at controlled speeds. They're quality vehicles, but they're not set up for racing, and neither are the roads. Racing's for race drivers on the track and for fools on the roads. Which are you?
Produced by SGIC because we care about South Australians.
SGL Grand Final, 14-10-9-4 as the ball goes up. South Augusta get the tap away. Ball goes into their attacking zone very quickly. But first up there is Blashik, who appears to have moved out from the full-back position, kicks it over towards the safety of the boundary line, and it'll go over the line and out of bounds in advance of any players at all. And we see an indifferent start, although promising as far as South Augusta is concerned, to the third quarter. They're facing a bit of a deficit. There would have been some strong words said at half-time as the ball comes back into play. Sullivan's bounced out of the way. Hines gets the ball, watches it run out of his fingertips, misses Dadler, gets it around onto the right foot now and kicks it down towards the half-forward flank. A lot of players up. O'Grady gets the ball, has nothing to do with it, however. This time we'll see Ed Mead trying to get around players, chips away at it. Out on the lead is Corey, and Corey will take the mark, but he's on a difficult angle with the wind blowing over his left shoulder. Now kicks it forward, looking for Fox there, but in front we have Newton. And Newton will take a saving mark for Central Augusta and now kicks it out in front of Baker. Baker running for the ball. Has it bounced? Oh, to it straight over his shoulder. The Cock is in there too, trying to put the pressure on. The ball's getting horribly close to the boundary line, and McCallum watches a Central Augusta player take it out. The ball comes back now, and Norm's rejoined us, having had swallowed what looks to be a very tasty sandwich.
Egg and mustard, actually, Rod.
Was it?
Right.
Pardon me, I went down and get one.
Right, there's the throw-in. Goes towards John Hogg. Hogg back towards the centre of the ground, where it's Russell coming up using his body on Naderbaum. Russell in trouble, though.
Oh,
He's bad. The ball. Oh, he's got one for holding the ball, holding the man. Most
pushing the back,
lucky on that occasion, I think, Kim Naderbaum for mine, because I felt that Russell dropped the ball. Wobbly punt kick back towards half forward. We see ball bouncing awkwardly for players. It's Cock with the chance. He reads the play beautifully, pushes it further, but there's no one running for South. It's Edmead in there, couldn't get the ball away. Finally does towards McCullum. McCullum in turn towards Benson. Benson handball short towards Sullivan. Sullivan breaks the tackle, steadies in towards full forward, and that's a good kick by Peter Fox it was. And South Augusta bring up a badly needed goal off the boot of Peter Fox. And they move along now to 10-4, that's 62, and Central's a 14-10-94. This is the term when South Augusta need to get back into this game after facing a 27-point deficit at the long break.
Yes, they've got to pull the wool out of their eyes, and that's one way to do it. They sneak 6 points closer. Still not a lot of enthusiasm in the South Augusta camp. They're walking back with hands on the hips already. We're only a couple of minutes into the quarter.
One or two more goals and there certainly would be, though.
Oh, you think they'll start wagging the tails after that? But the umpire gets the ball back in the centre of the ground now. About to put it down. Benson for South Augusta. Parsons for Central Augusta. Benson runs under it, but still good enough to get the tap back past Vast. The ball goes to ground. Dunkley gets the ball now, gets clear. Sinks the slipper into it. To a big kick with the wind going behind it as well. Corey's up in the air. Doesn't complete the mark. Fuller tries to claim it. What's the umpire done? He said we'll have a bounce. Corey grabbed it first, Fuller grabbed it second, the umpire's got it third, and he's the one that counts. Umpire puts it down. Virtually those two players go for it. Fuller gets the tap, goes to a straight to his player. And I don't think Brandon Collins had a real lot to do with that. That's not Brandon Collins, sorry, it's Diorio.
15-metre penalty.
Laurie Benson knows where it is. He's counted out 15.5 metres for his side. Umpire says, no, I'll leave it back here. And we see a South Augusta player looking to have a kick. It looks like Feebig, who went off the ground after having a little bit of rush treatment early in the first quarter. He's come back on towards the just before half-time. Now got a chance to put his side 6 points closer. Where's it gone? And it's gone straight through for a goal. South Augusta creeping a little bit closer. Central Augusta 14 goals 10. South Augusta 11 goals 4. 4 goals behind Central. 4 goals behind South Augusta, I should say. Central Augusta in front. There's still a handy lead. They wouldn't have liked it being whittled back by 12 points without any effort from them. They're yet to go into their attacking zone, Central Augusta.
I think the important thing, Roger, too, is that Centrals haven't had the ball into attack so far this term, and South Augusta have started up much better. There's Benson with the big fist won by Parsons. It goes short towards Dunkley. Hogg comes out to meet the ball. It's Sullivan on towards the running player out there. And we see it's Edmead kicks in towards full forward, but it's offline, strongly tackled by John Hogg. And Edmead gets up holding his neck, and it's a minor score resulting. And Central's now a lead, 14-10 to South 11-5, as we see the ball being relayed back to the Central Augusta fullback, or halfback flanker, and Brandon Collins. Corey appears to be at full forward at the moment. Here's Collins' kick. Good looking kick out towards the boundary. Off hands it goes. South Augusta the charge through. Christie struck. Used his pace. Steady. Bang. That's home. South Augusta getting back into the game. The Bulldogs move along to 12-5. 78 points, and Central's a 14-10-94, and South has scored 3 goals, and the Bulldogs are yet to score in this final third term, and the game coming alive at Central Oval, Port Augusta.
Because I think we've got a game of football back on our hands. Looked a while there like Central Augusta are going to sneak away with it. South Augusta, like the good side they are, have come back, and they're only 3 goals behind now, 18 points. It's a little bit less than that, but you see the play back in the centre square. Umpire taking a little while to ferry it back. The Central Augusta players, they'll have to tighten up rapidly in that defensive zone. Have let South Augusta players run through there unhindered on the majority of occasions, and you always thought they would have swapped Guernseys from the second quarter.
It's Benson doing the job in the ruck now for South Augusta, Roger.
Yes, Parsons could be getting a bit tired.
Right, there's the ball down the ground again. Central Augusta get into attack only as far as Lambshed. It's an awkward one, but he uses his body cleverly, keeps the ball in front of him, taps it across where it goes towards Fuller. Off hands it goes, Struck breaks clear again. He's coming alight, Chrissy Struck. Up towards half forward, players set themselves. Johnny Hogg couldn't control the ball. Goes to ground, Feebig's there. Handballs towards Cock. Cock with his nose over the ball, gets a left footer away, up towards half forward, and it's Corey taking the mark, and he's a prodigious kicker of the football, Michael Corey. He's 65 yards out, directly in front, has the breeze at his back, and will give this one shake if he gets onto one of his usual long kicks. Here's Corey. Kicks long distances at times. This would certainly get South Augusta alight. Bang, that's a beautiful looking kick. That looks to be almost on line. It's through. He's put it through from 55, 60 metres out. And the Bulldogs have got their 4th on the board. They move along to 13-5, that's 83. And Central's a 14-10-94. The margin back now to only 11 points as we've been playing only 6 or 7 minutes of the vital third term in the 1982 SGL Grand Final.
I don't know what Johnny Reid said in the change rooms at half-time, but whatever he said was the right words. Central Augusta now, that's 3 goals to Corey. Central Augusta needs something out of their centre players at this stage. They're all standing around. Down goes the ball. Benson up and Parsons. Parsons gets fist for the ball this time. Palms it down, but it's South Augusta through Russell. Russell kicks it into the forward lines. Getting back under it for Central Augusta was Vlasic. Couldn't control it. Newton in there as well. Corey looking for another goal. Some stacks on the mill over on the half-forward flank there. Uncontrollable play, and the umpire will say, I'll have it. Gets the ball now, about to put it down onto the ground. In the attacking zone for South Augusta again. Fuller gets up high. Vlasic gets a kick away under pressure, only as far as the wing. Waiting under is Russell, and despite all opposition, finds it falling into his hand. Now Russell will go back. Not usually a bad kicker. Goes short. Looking down there for Sullivan, who's got away from O'Grady. Sullivan back out on the true half-forward flank position. The chance to put the ball right into the attacking zone for South Augusta. Bang, there it goes. Looking up towards the players there, and Cock behind on this occasion. Michael Fuller used a bit of experience in front and has been paid the mark. Central desperately needing to steady in this defensive zone. They've been rattled with 4 quick goals from South Augusta. Fuller puts it out there to a player all by himself. South starting to look a bit ragged there as Databaum gets a kick right up onto the wing, looking for Dadler, who falls over at the crucial moment. Tapped on by Grady. Lobs at the feet of a player there in Vast. Comes out past Liam Shedd, who goes to pick it up. Handball on from Russell, out towards Rosie. Rosie will get a good kick, going up towards the half-forward flank. Fuller trying to get under again. Good effort, but dropped it. Now starts to swing back. South Augusta there in numbers, but it comes back to Blasick left on his own. He's got Diorio loose, and Diorio steady now and kick it up towards the wing position. O'Grady and Reid. Reid with his thigh heavily strapped takes the mark and decides to go back and steady down play. Brings it around into play, gets past Benson, and with an untidy looking kick, but it got a little bit of distance, goes up towards Cummins, who hasn't been sighted in this quarter yet, as have the central forward line. O'Grady sticks it over there towards Dadley. Dadley kick it up towards the goal position. Page tries the mark, but it goes through for 1 point for Central Augusta's first attack and first score in the third quarter. They go along to 14 goal 11 to South Augusta 13 goal 5.
Here's Michael Kerrin to kick out. South back in the ball game. After a brilliant opening to this third term, should go straight down the ground. Changes his mind. Only one way to go. That's down the middle. There's his kick. Sets it out high. Struck and also Diorio. Off hands it goes, where it's Michael Diorio there. Can't pick up the ball. Big group starting congest over the ball and a bounce down to take place. Russell's playing strongly in this third term as well and giving South Augusta lift. Parsons up high, gets the fist. Well done by Reid as he used his body cleverly. Then he tries to break a couple of tackles, but he gets the ball out beautifully to Dadler. Butterfingers as he couldn't control that ball. He gets a lucky free kick, Daryl Dadler. He must have copped one high, and he's about 45 metres out on a slight angle and steadies up play as he's about to drive Central Augusta up towards their goal mouth.
Yes, he didn't do a lot to deserve that.
Into the breeze. Dadler came on late in the second term. Good looking kick up towards full forward. That's straight through the middle. He's finished off that play beautifully for Central Augusta, and they get a steadying goal, their first for the term, as they move along to 15-11. That's 101 points, and the margin creeps along now to 18 points as we see South Augusta 13-5-83.
It's a much-needed goal by Central Augusta. They very much needed that one to steady the nerves, both of themselves, their coach, and also their supporters, who've gone very quiet there for a while. South Augusta not out of it, though. They've shown they can come back, and they've kicked 4 quick goals. The umpire about to put it down for in the third quarter. Parsons up again, but it gets tapped away by Benson.
Who's the ball
straight to O'Grady, who gets caught with the ball. Didn't like it all that much, and O'Grady's got a very much a blood nose at this stage too, as Dunkley gets the ball. A long kick down into the forward line. In front was the South Augusta player and Corey, unable to mark it as Blasick gets a handball out towards Sanders. Oh, brilliantly intercepted by McCallum. McCallum will handball over towards the player there running past Corey, ends up with it, gets taken off the ball. There goes Kelvin Blasick. He'll run through anything, goes back through the centre half back position for Central. They take a little bit of time getting it out, Central Augusta. Up here towards Fuller. Can't bring a ball to ground. Goes away now to Grady, who still bleeding from the nose there. Gets it away to Diorio, who's got 2 South Augusta players.
Oh, lucky.
That went straight through Diorio. And in the eyes of the umpire, a little bit illegally. And Diorio gets a free kick. And picking up a little bit of the centre square chalk on his thigh as he did it. Gets it up now towards the half-forward position for Central Augusta. And almost a mark there to Fuller. Gets one from Russell. Russell decides not to let him go away. Don't know if there's too much friendship between those two just at this point of time. As Fuller goes back with the ball now, looking for someone up forward. There's a bit of movement up there, and he puts it up towards where Evans is standing. That there's 2 Central Augusta players there fly. Nadeborn watches the ball almost go out of bound. That really looked out from here. Hines gets the ball now, quickly onto the boot, coming down towards where Benson stands on his own, in front of Fuller on this occasion. O'Grady, I should say, and Benson steadying for South Augusta, looking for a big kick out of into the centre area for the South Augusta's side. Running through now, Central Augusta through
good
Fuller.
pass.
Yeah, I don't know if he really wanted to go there, but Eugene Evans gets hold of the ball. Left foot kick, magnificent kick, but up there a great saving mark for South Augusta, and that's Kerrin. Kerrin had his flat spots in the second quarter, but that was a good mark.
Here's Kerrin from the full-back left position. South Augusta now under pressure. Good looking kick out wide towards the grandstand side. Benson was up high. G. Hines has worked hard in this game. Kicks it out short. Struck's there with a chance. He's on the left boot as he kicks towards half forward. Beautifully done towards Dunkley. Oh, Dunkley never took the mark. And now we see the ball to ground. Sanders with nose over the ball. Handballs towards Johnny Hogg. Hogg has the chance to drive long back towards half forward. A big group starting to set. Hines is up high, couldn't control it. Here we see Evans carrying the ball with him. Carries it in front of him again. And now he looks to handball towards Page. Page will go short again, where he's looking for Cummins. Cummins under pressure, almost well for holding the ball. Yes, he is. And Rodney Lamshed read that play beautifully as he took that
I think he read
tackle.
the play.
Yeah, Cummins was really set up by Page on that occasion, and now we see Lamshed from the full back line to kick clear. Kicks long, cocks the target. He's unattended in the centre of the ground. Well done as it goes towards Robert Diorio. Steadies himself. Short he goes, and we see Cummins in front of Vast on this occasion, and Paul Cummins steadies up play across half forward for Central Augusta. Cummins has done well in opposition to Vast. He's been strong on occasions. Cummins, 45. Into the breeze. Good looking kick. Offline though, it's almost a Mark Naderbaum. I think it's going to be paid to Kim Naderbaum, and the South Augusta players don't seem too happy with that mark, but Kim Naderbaum had no doubt in his mind that he took the mark. The umpire agreed, and Naderbaum's about 15 metres out on a slight angle, but he's also trying the banana kick. Surely he wouldn't convert this one as well. Oh, don't tell me he has. Oh, yes, he has. Oh, how could they lose from there? That's 2 in a row they've kicked. He kicked one, Evans kicked one, also from almost the same position, and the Blood and Tars have steadied as they move along to 16-11, 107, and South Augusta are 13-5-83.
Yes, there's 2 banana balls we've seen from that right forward pocket on the same end. Both of them had the same result. South Augusta want to get a couple of those back while they got the advantage of this win. Benson caught out of position as Parsons punches the ball forward. Going through to Hines, gets a high one right up in the air, O'Grady underneath it. Bounces past him, however, but Newton backing up well, goes up the far side wing towards O'Grady. This is Tony O'Grady, gets past a slow Doug Rosie on that occasion, up looking for Cummins and Vast. Cummins good enough to get it back, slips it over to O'Grady, run down, a little bit of a high tackle there, but he gets the ball forward. 2 Central Augusta players. McDonald's got it tucked into the Guernsey. I think he's going to take it home. And the umpire says, no, you don't, I'll have a bounce, and it's only about 15 to 20 metres out from the Central Augusta goal. Be very handy for Central if they can get another one here, give them a little bit of breathing space. Kernahan taps it out, looking for out there with Fox and also Diorio. Diorio gets it back towards Dadler. Dadler goes over towards McDonald, who's going to be pressured by Kerrin, who's going to take off in a minute with the arms out. Gets it back towards Lamshed. Lamshed to a patch of South Augusta players. Out comes McCallum. Long handball to Cock. He's got a paddock to work in. He can go take it home. It's time to stop for a scratch. Cock as he goes down the alley to the half-forward flank. Handballs it over the top. Where we see Ed Mead put it up high into the air. It's going very close, but a good mark there to Blasek. Excellent mark under pressure. A metre out from the goal line. Tucks the big body behind it and says thanks. That's a good kick too, back into the wind, putting out towards his players, but unfortunately for Central Augusta, fortunately for South, Dennis Russell's got underneath it, and he'll take a mark, and a good kick from just inside the true centre half forward position. And Norm, what's his chances of getting it?
Yes, he's got the out of the breeze. They've been kicking fairly long distances, Roger, and he's a pretty good kicker of the ball, Dennis Russell. It's only the accuracy that's the worry, and I think that is the worry. No, it may be, yes it is. It is the worry. He had the distance, players marked it behind the line, and unfortunately for South Augusta on that occasion, Dennis Russell offline. There's the kick out by Brandon Collins. Good kick into that breeze. Oh, up high. We almost saw a mark to South Augusta. Now it goes towards Struck. Struck, who's playing on the wing at the moment, kicks across the ground. Cox loosely tended, and there he is, 35, 40 metres out directly in front. Normally you'd say this was home, but they'd be holding their breaths, the South Augusta supporters, with Craig Cock. They wouldn't even know what foot he's going to kick with. Firstly, he goes for the right footer, and is he on line? It's dropping. It's almost touched on the line. Yes, it is. Neville Newton got that arm up and touched it on the line for a minor score, and South kicked 2 minor scores in a row to move along to 85 points. Trailing Centrals, who are 107. Collins will go to the other side of the ground. Now, if that's good tactics, Russell's there, fisted away from Naderbaum towards Johnny Hogg. He tries to get past the player, does so. Now he gets a long handball to the running Reed. but it's Sullivan intercepting it. It comes off beautifully to Michael Fuller. Fuller up towards half forward, where we see Central South Augusta coming out through their player in Malcolm Mitchell, and Mitchell, who's had a quiet day, back towards half forward. Players set themselves. Feebig's there. Over the top goes Baker. Played strongly as he gets a little kick away. Hines is there, continuing to work hard. Now it's on the ground where the comes towards Michael Fuller. He gets a left footer back towards the centre of the ground. Rosie's there. Didn't really drive at the ball. Now it's Robert DiOrio going through the pack. Handballed out where it goes in turn towards, looks like it's Pasquale. It's beautifully done, Reggie Reed. On the left foot as he goes up towards half forward. Evans is there. Takes the mark. Bounces once. He's got the chance to set it up. To Page, is he on the left foot? I think he's offline for a minor score. Well, we had a good opportunity. Page was left loose on that occasion, and it's Central's turn to be offline as they move along to 16-12, 108, and Central's are 13-7, 85.
Chance went begging there as Eugene Evans running to what was nearly an open goal. South Augusta bring it out now towards his flank, struck underneath it, takes the easiest of marks on the chest, probably decides to run around now and gets it back onto the right foot, comes down the wing. Craig Cock lumbering after it just in advance of Baker. I think it'll beat them all out over the line. Yes, it does. And the ball now to be thrown in by the boundary umpire right in front of the grandstand. Ball goes in. McCallum underneath it. Waves it goodbye as it goes past him, and now Pat Hine picks it up, runs into the clear, looking down into the forward line for his players down there. Great pack of players. Corey's got it. Fuller's been shepherded out. Excellent shepherding by South Augusta. Corey's going to run home with it, puts it through, and South Augusta go along to another score. It's 4 goals to Corey as we wait for the scoreboard of 10 to put up 14 goals, 7 South Augusta. Sneaking up again on Central Augusta on 16 goals, 12. Excellent play by Pat Hines. Good play by Corey, and I didn't quite pick up who done the shepherding there.
Laurie Benson
was an excellent shepherd, got rid of Michael Fuller, and Corey had time to steady right down and just trickle it over the line as he ran into a very much an open goal square. So the game with a lot of excitement, a lot of football left in it, at about the 20-minute mark of the third quarter.
Roger, it is noticeable that whenever the South Augusta players come along, it's normally the players of Russell and Hines and Corey and Strucker having something to do with it. And unfortunately for Pat Hines, he's got to continue to keep working hard. There's the bounce down. It's Parsons and also Russell. No effective tap. Vast gets it forward, but in turn it goes back towards the central line. Feebig falls over. Now we see Robert DiOrio. He's tackled strongly. Through comes Rosie. He couldn't do anything with it. Struck's a long way out of his ground as he's across the other side of the ground. Reed's in there battling. Knocked back towards Dunkley. Dunkley's kick is beautifully smothered by Robert DiOrio. Following up, getting support from Cummins. Picks it up cleverly as he goes on the left boot. Page is the target. Almost a mark over the top. Goes towards the player out there in Russell. Working hard now, Russell. Goes wide towards Tony Sullivan. Awkward bounces. It's kicked towards the central half forward line. Now players are going to run at the ball. Through we see Kernahan bursting after the ball. Picks it up. Awkward left foot kick, but he gets it back towards almost the wing. Hines is in there, couldn't pull it in. Now it's McCullum, pushes across the boundary line. No real effective play from Grant McCullum on that occasion, but at least it's safe for South Augusta as there will be a throw-in take place on the centre wing. It will be Parsons, ruck most of the day. And also gets the fist on that occasion. He's a big limper, and I think the free kick's going his way. Russell's absolutely...
I thought Russell thought he was going to get that.
I think he and also everyone in the crowd likewise, as he certainly didn't infringe. It was just that Parsons jumped so high and then fell afterwards. There's the good-looking kick up towards half forward. Off hands it goes. Bradley McDonald throws it out towards DiOrio. Robert DiOrio hooks in towards full forward, but it's not coming back far enough or quickly enough, and it's a minor score. And Centrals are now 16-13, 109. The margin is 18 points as South Augusta are 14-7, 91.
Yes, Kenny Mitchell would like his chances to kick a little bit straighter at this point of call. They've picked quite a few points in this last part of the quarter as the ball bored in again. This time going out looking for Grant McCallum, who's in front. Took it too easy. That'll come over the top and spoiled. Central Augustus threw a Grady kick off the ground, but didn't go much distance. Sullivan right in the middle of things. Gets it to Rosie. Gets at least a decent kick. Heading out towards Craig Cock, who's lumbering after again with Baker right in his hip pocket. But they'll see the ball go out of bounds on the far side of the ground with the scoreboard standing at 16 goal 13. Central Augusta to South Augusta 14 goal 7. Ball about to be brought back into play. What's a very entertaining grand final at this stage. almost infringement in the ruck. Struck now, dodges around, gets a bit of a chip, about a 7-iron that one, over to Pat Hines. Runs past a player there at Naderbaum and gets a decent kick now into the half-forward position. Oh, up high, Fuller. And you can see why this guy piled a few votes on the medal. Gets a good kick now back towards the centre of the ground. In there was Naderbaum. Didn't go at it really hard enough. Another player getting into trouble there was Fox. Ran into his opposing player, his off teammate Russell. Now McCallum will get the ball if it comes up for him. He's taken plenty of time. Gets the slipper into it now as it heads down towards the full forward position. There was Corey. And the umpires paid him the mark. A for effort. And Corey will take the mark. And this should be a very easy shot really for Corey. He's got a kick on him. And he's dead in front. You couldn't line him up any squarer to the goal. And he's only about 30-odd metres out. Gone back a long way off the mark. Got to give himself plenty of time to kick. Important kick for South Augusta. They can get a lot closer to Central here. Doesn't look too bad off the boot. The umpire's moving, but it's in. And that's 5 goals to Michael Corey. 5 goals, and we're 25 minutes into the third quarter. And Central Augusta remain on 16 goals 13 to South Augusta 15 goals 7.
It's been a good move by John Reid in switching Michael Corey to full forward. He was really their only effective forward right through the first half, and he's kicked 5 goals and a very talented player in Brandon Collins, and that's no mean feat in the fact that Corey has kicked almost a third of the side's total, and he's been one of the real key players in this game for Central Augusta. But it's Russell working hard in the centre of the ground, also at the bounces, and also Hines. I think he's doing a bit better at centre now than Naderbaum, but a big fist bypass, and G's dominated the rucks. There it goes towards Duckley, too slow. It's up towards half forward. Central Augusta having the chance. Page comes out to meet it, taps it luckily towards Cummins. Cummins towards Reid. McDonald gets around one, always almost going to go for holding the ball, but it's got away by McCallum. Bad miss by Murray Vast. Cummins picks it up. Handballs out wide to Reggie Reid. Reid's point blank range, and he's shipped it through. And Central Augusta get their steadier. Oh, that's dispirited that South Augusta defence to see it go through so easily. And there's only a couple of players who were really chasing on that occasion and trying to stem that flow of attack. But the Blood and Tars get the steadier they need again as they move along to 17-13. To South Augusta 15-7. It's 115 points to 97. 18 points still the margin as we've reached the time on period in the third term of the 1982 SGL Grand Final.
South Augusta have got to rattle on a couple of quick goals because Central Augusta have the breeze in the last quarter, and I think they're going just about well enough as Sanders comes back into the play. The ball is going to be bottled up inside the centre square. Norm, I think Central Augusta look to have just a little bit of the advantage on it at this stage. They're 18 points clear into the time on period, and South Augusta must get a couple of goals before the quarter runs out, or I think they're going to have an uphill battle on that last one. As it comes down to Diorio, gets a kick away now for Central Augusta, up towards where Reid has a fumble, goes through to Lamshed. Lamshed ducks and turns, runs into a brick wall. Down goes Lamshed, and the umpire says, "You can have a free kick, sir." And disputing that decision is Cummins. I didn't think there was really much in it, but it might have been a little bit high. He's a lot closer than we were. Going back into the wing position now, Michael Fuller over the back, gets a big fist into it. Benson goes to ground, held without the ball, but flicks it back over towards the South Augusta attacking. On to Hines, on to Sullivan. This will be a crucial attacking move. It's a goal. It's a goal for the South Augusta side. That's one they really need as we go into the time on period. 26 minutes played for this game, and South Augusta go on to 16 goals 7, and trailing Central Augusta on 17-13. And Norm, if they didn't get that, they would have made it extremely hard.
It's been a great third term by both sides. They're virtually going goal for goal. But South Augusta, you've got to admire the way they've fought themselves back into this game. They're now only 12 points down. They will be kicking against the breeze in the final term, but it's easily been shown so far that it's easily done to kick goals against the breeze under these almost perfect conditions. Parsons and Russell. Russell wins the tap. Strucks the running player. Taps it in front of him. Handballs towards the running Cock. Will it sit for him? It does. It's on towards Edmead. Edmead now with it looks to get onto his left boot. Handballs towards Sullivan. Sullivan going back into the play as he hooks back towards full forward. That's not well directed. Oh, Corey's up high. No, it's called play on as it goes towards a big group of players. Oh, it's becoming desperate as we see Kelvin Blassick having a few words for the umpire.
He had first grip on that ball, and he would have been most upset if it was paid the mark.
And there's the bounce down to take place only 20 metres out directly in front of goal. Fuller's the only one contesting. Gets a fist towards the player in Sanders. A dribbling kick for safety. But we see Sullivan. He gets in front of the player in Blassick and now forced across the boundary line, and a throw-in to take place about 25, 30 metres around from the left-hand point post. or South would love to desperately get a goal and wouldn't have set the stage for a brilliant final term. We see the throw in. Dunkley in opposition to Fuller. Well done, Dunkley, but it's well smothered by Kelvin Blasick. Hasn't hardly put a foot wrong on the last line of defence. And another throw-in to take place as South get the ball closer to goals.
I think Kelvin Blasick enjoys it when it's this type of the game. He always seems to have a grin on his face back there, but as the ball comes out now, Pines gets it taken away as Diorio now flicks it around the corner, looking for the safety to the boundary line, and McCallum almost helps it out, being assisted by Brandon Collins, and we'll have a kick to Grant McCallum. A little bit of unnecessary stuff there from Collins. 15 metres. Well, it's deserved by Central Augusta there. They didn't get the ball back. They had plenty of occasion to do so. Grant McCallum, I don't know what sort of kick he is, but he's getting close enough now to have a decent go at it. It's only about 40-45 metres out. Bit of an angle. Wind coming over his right shoulder. Oh, that's where the ball's gone. Straight through for a point. Right behind that one. Pulled it across the body. And South would have loved him to get a goal there. But they've put on a point. They go to 104 points, trailing 115. Not out of it yet by any means, but they're going to have a difficult task, although, as Norm said earlier, Central Augusta have shown that you can score into the wind in this game as the ball gets brought out now. Coming up towards the centre of the ground. Russell's going to have the fly. Both of him and his opponent miss it, of course, comes to the ground. And the umpire says, I'll have a bounce, and it's almost on the centre half forward position for South Augusta, as we've played nearly 30 minutes again into the third quarter.
In this third term, South have so far added 8 goals. There's the tap, one by Benson, to go straight towards the player in O'Grady. That's a wobbly looking punt kick where players have got to run into the space. It will beat them across the line. No, it sits beautifully for Eugene Evans. Says, thank you very much. Handball towards Cummins. He's in trouble. Met strongly. Then comes back and has words to an opposing player. Now it goes into a big group of players and a bounce down to take place on the centre wing. And
he was lucky there that Russell took a kind note on him. He could have put him straight through the sideboard.
Here's the bounce. Umpire Ken Green to take the bounce. Russell, bad bounce on that occasion. Evans is there, gets a kick away up towards the half-forward line where it's Kernahan on that unusual-looking kicking style. Hines up high, nearly pulls it in, Pat Hines. Warburton read off the back by Brandon Collins, and now we see a slam shed, an awkward one for him in opposition to Reg Reed. Oh, good work by both players. They tried desperately. Lamshed the winner up towards half-forward where it's Edmead taking the mark, and South Augusta supporters coming alive, and so they are their players. Handball towards Pasculi. Pasculi, 40 yards out, drives in towards full forward. That's going to be close. Oh, it's touched on the line. No, it's still in play as it goes towards the big group of players, and it's held to those packet players. Now, I thought that came off the goalpost, actually, but there was certainly no decision, and a bounce down now will take place only half a metre out from the goal line. Here's the bounce down. Awkward bounce. Blasick uses his body, does it cleverly. Handball's out of danger, but Newton's there. Goes towards Corey, back towards the player in Edmead, looking to get onto his left foot. Oh, badly done, Edmead, but it gets back towards Fuller. Been a supreme player on that half-back line. Here we see Reed and also Lamshed. Oh, well done, Lamshed. Oh, that's Techie Touchwood. Let them have a go at the game. It's just spoiling the spectacle as the handball goes towards Collins. Collins tries long up towards half-forward. McDonald's been left loose. Handball towards Cummins. Cummins will set himself. Bang, is it online? It's offline, I think. Yes, it's touched the post. Oh, thrills galore. Central Augusta, 17-14, 116. South of 16-8, and that's about 104. It's still 12 points of difference as we near the end of the third term in the 1982 Grand Final.
Brought out by Kerrin. Looking for out there to Dunkley. Gets spoiled by his own man. Central Augusta go to have a chance here through O'Grady and also their player in Evans, but we can't see what's going on at the moment because it's buried under a pack of players, and the umpire will say I'll have a bounce as the siren sounds for the end of the third quarter of the 1982 SGL Grand Final, seeing Central at 17 goal 14, 116 points, leading South Augusta on 16 goal 8, 104, and let's look forward to an exciting last quarter.
Things that often lead to the big collisions and all the resultant drama. Don't drive when you're upset or angry. Always concentrate. Check your seatbelts and the kids too. Don't run the amber lights. Your luck will run out one day. Leave that one for the road. And if someone pushes in, back off. They're all little things that eventually lead to big things. And they're all so easy to prevent.
Produced in the interests of your safety by SGIC.
Siren sounds now to start the final quarter of the 1982 SGL Grand Final. Ball is bounced in the centre. Up goes Parsons, gets a big kick, a big hit right down into his forward line. But the player's on the ball at this stage, and there'll be another bounce about 5.5 seconds after the first one. Players anxious. This is the final tilt at the 1982 flag. Up goes Parsons again, climbing high. He's got a leap on him. Gets it over to Rosie. Can't get a foot to the ball. Away goes Sullivan, gets it away under the right foot, looks up there towards Ed Mead, is caught under the ball, but thumps it on intelligently, running into South Augusta's forward line. Fuller there too. Away goes Newton, however. Back turns brilliantly, comes back towards Fuller. He's under pressure.
Well done, Struck.
Chris Struck goes past, read the play ball, but gets it up towards Cox. Cox takes a good mark.
Corey.
Gets it over to Corey. He can go over the top towards Feebig. Oh, it's awful, but Feebig's got it. Goal to South Augusta on the opening moments of the final quarter. And the red and white section of the crowd go ecstatic as they get up now to 17 goals 8, trailing Central on 17 goals 14. Norm, one straight goal the difference.
Yeah, it's been a great comeback by South Augusta. They've had the odds against them. They went at half-time facing almost a 5-goal disadvantage. They came out, they lifted that third term with a great third term. They're kicking against the breeze in the final term. All the odds with Centrals, but South Augusta have opened this term beautifully. Now that's the goal they desperately wanted, that first one on the board. Russell and Parsons. Russell wins the tap down, goes towards John O'Grady. Couldn't pick it up. Handball, goes astray. Dunkley, it's on towards Hines. Hines up towards full forward, bouncing loose. Oh, will it sit for Feebig? Wouldn't. Now it goes back towards the player in Feebig again, but it's Fuller. Loses possession, but it goes towards the cool, calm Kelvin Blasick. Handball and turn towards Newton. Newton chips it out short and finds Neil Sanders on the half-back left position, and he'll steady up play. Sanders, that familiar left foot as he kicks back towards the centre of the ground. Parsons there. Oh, couldn't take the mark. Maury Vast carries it forward with him. Now he sets himself as he sets up towards full forward. Players setting themselves over the back it goes. Newton's had his third touch in a row at full back. And now he drives clear again, back towards the scoreboard side of the ground. Johnny Hogg takes it nicely. Thought about playing on. Oh, handball to a flat-footed Brandon Collins. But the strength of Hogg, it's beautifully smothered by Hines. Back and turn towards Collins on the left boot. Goes towards the running player out there where it's Parsons. He's looking to get around. Oh, twists and turns beautifully. Gets it on the left boot. Naderbaum's loose across half forward. Controls the ball beautifully. Now he sets himself as he drives the wall full forward. Plays the target. Over the top comes Kerrin. It's Bradley McDonald leading in the race for the ball. Couldn't pick it up. He's trying to burst his way through that pack. He keeps carrying it forward, but a big pack develops and a bounce down now to take place in the right full forward position for the Blood and Tars.
There's only metres out from the goal.
There's the bounce down. Players bustling there, and I think it will be a free kick going the way of... Oh, Jeff Page is getting... I thought he was the offending player, but obviously the umpire disagreed, and he's the one who's got the whistle. And Jeff Page with a golden opportunity to steady for Central Augusta. He's on the left foot. The angle is acute, but he's usually a very good kicker of goals from this sort of position. Experienced player, Page. Favoured by the angle with his ability to kick left foot and having the natural left foot. Here's his kick. It's gone right across the face of goals. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full, and the kick in to be taken on the last line of defence by the South Augusta back pocket player, Rodney Lambshed. Good-looking screw putt. Hines the target, and he takes it, I should say, Cock couldn't control that mark, but now he smothers it to ground, and a bounce down to take place on the Central's half-forward left position.
Centrals need a bit of a score to steady themselves. South Augusta only one goal behind as the umpire fails to put the ball back into play. Rucks gather. Up goes Russ. He's played a better game on the ball than he did at centre-half forward early in the piece. Through goes Dadler, kicks it off the ground. Now swerves around again. Gets caught. Oh, good tackle.
Great tackle, Lambshed.
Rubber sticky fingers, Lambshed there. Dadler going past, had a yard clear, and all of a sudden his great arm came out and pulled him to a full stop. Away goes Lambshed now, looking for Russell, who's played a lot better, as we said earlier. Handball's over towards Sullivan now. Sullivan will get it up the wing position, looking in the Cock area, but punched away from those players there by Fuller. Dioro gets it over to Sanders. Sanders now with a wobbly-looking kick, tumble punt kick down towards Lambshed. He steadies play down. Not a great deal for him to kick to, so he decides to steady it right down indeed. Goes back and takes a set kick. Comes back over now, looking over towards the grandstand wing. Cock getting underneath it, as is Hines. Hines in front over the top O'Grady. Oh, he's let it go. I think Hines had the fingertips on that first. Away it goes over towards where Maury Vast picks it up. Lopes around now onto the left foot. Kicks it up towards, should say, was it Fox there, but unfortunately for South Augusta, Sanders has it. Goes back. Called to play on. Wobbly looking kick, straight up. Bring rain if there's any there, and Chris Struck will take the mark in advance for Brendan.
Struck's had a brilliant second half so far. He bounced the ball, he's got to go. Oh, you open your mouth, and what's he do? He flops it up, and the free kick to be taken by Randall Parsons. Bad play by Struck. South had running players, and he elected to bounce instead of being a little bit more positive. There's a kick, good looking. Oh, McDonald, nearly a good mark. Off hands, Naderbaum shoots in towards full forward, but that's offline for a minor score. And Centrals move along to 17-15, 116 and 117. The margin is now 17 points as we're about the 5-minute mark of the final term. There's Kerrin, bounces, he comes away from the goals. As he kicks up long towards half forward, players set themselves. Over the top goes Russell. Good fist. As an awkward for Newton. Couldn't control it. Sullivan's there, and he taps it across the boundary line. And a throw-in to take place at centre wing here at Central Oval, Port Augusta. Russell's worked tirelessly in the second half, and of course so has Randall Parsons, been the best ruckman afield. There we see it going towards Dadler, having trouble in picking it up. Handballs nicely over his head to Robert Diorio. Set up. Oh, Lamshed came out, never really put his body over it strongly enough. And now it's Reed short. He goes towards Cummins and finds that player. And Paul Cummins been a superb player at centre half forward. He's about 35, 40 metres out. The angle about 30 degrees, and he'll obviously aim, or should aim, towards that right-hand goal post. Been a good player at centre half forward, Cummins. An important kick. There's the kick, he's done it well. Or is he, I think, no, it's just missed. Oh, that must have been close, as we see the margin now only 8 points as Centrals move along to 17-16 to South 17-8.
80 points, not a lot in it. We've played something like 6-7 minutes of this quarter. South Augusta now put the ball into play through Vast. Comes back out to the half-back flank. Great pack of players fly up high for it. Mitchell's now got it. Whoa, gets a high tackle from Russell. Umpire lets it go on. The kick goes through to Dadler, who's right on the boundary line. And he'll be able to take his kick. He's standing in amongst the chalk there out there at the moment. But no doubt look to centre it up or put it right into that goal square area. Now Central, well, both sides have got a lot of flyers. Dadler now kicking it up towards the goals. I think it's going to go through for a point. Yes, it does. It goes behind the post. The umpire raises the solitary finger, and we go through for 1 point to Central Augusta. 17-17 for Central. A little bit of tardiness in their kicking now as they go into the final quarter, get near the 10-minute mark. Not much football left in the SGL final in 1982 as it goes back into attack again. Central get lucky here with a bit of a run. Two players go for it over towards Cummins. Can he get a foot to the ball? There's enough South Augusta players around for him to eat it, and I think you'll find it as holding the ball. But there was 4 South Augusta players around Paul Cummins there. It didn't really have much show of doing anything with it. South Augusta desperate on that occasion in defence.
But he tried to burst his way through the pack, Roger, and that's why he was penalised. Just had it reported, a big crowd of 4,000 people have paid to see the 1982 grand final. There's a good mark being taken on the half-back left position by Pat Hines, who's been a tireless worker for South Augusta throughout this game. There's his high punt kick back towards the scoreboard wing. Russell's up high, good grab. Came from the side of the pack, Dennis Russell, and he's had an excellent second half after being easily beaten by Michael Fuller and when playing at centre half forward. That's a good looking kick. Players set themselves. It's Fuller, the player we were talking about, being supreme across half back. Short he goes, Johnny Hogg, but he doesn't mess around. Bang he goes. Back towards half forward and into attack as South Augusta are in trouble again. The ball going to ground, big group converging, and a bounce down to take place in almost the true centre half forward position with the Blood and Tars into attack.
Only one game of football for Johnny Hogg, full ahead.
9 points the difference in the last term. There's the bounce down, goes towards the Eugene Evans, handballs towards Naderbaum. Naderbaum lost possession, now he goes to ground, and a free kick will go his way for a push in the back. And Kim Naderbaum with the opportunity now. Oh, there's a fight in front of the grandstand as well. So we're getting people all pretty excited out here at the moment as we see plenty of activity on the grandstand as well as also on the field. And there's also almost an all-in brawl. But of course, we've seen that several times before.
One down and several to go.
There's the kick going to Robert Diorio. And Robert Diorio now has the chance, and he's not too far out from goals. And most of the attention at the moment has been centred purely and simply on activities in front of the grandstand as we see the normal lads having their own
commentate normal, count the punches.
Right. Here's Diorio, another vital kick in this game. As we see, he's setting himself. It's a good-looking kick by Diorio, but it's floating across the face of goals. Almost a mark by Cummins. Goes to ground again. Big group of players trying to contest in there, and another bounce down to take place only metres out from the goal mouth. Most of those people who usually get in those incidents only usually come once a year anyway. There's the bounce down. It's forced through for a minor score. No, it's not. Yes, it has been. It's touched the goalpost, and now we see the margin creep along to 10 points. Essential have been continually in attack in the opening minutes of this final term.
I see a check ahead amongst them, Norm. That'll sort them out. South Augusta now coming out of defence. Long kick from the full-back out towards the half-back flank. Several players fly. Sanders gets it high in the air, but there's a free kick going to... where are we going to? To South Augusta. Not sure who it's been played to. Several of them stand there. Maybe Pat Hines. He's the one that's got the ball. Yes, Pat Hines worked hard today. It's been probably overshadowed a little bit by Naderborn, but over it goes now towards Fox. Fox has got the ball almost on the wing position. Kicks it up towards the centre of the ground. Benson flies high, out of his hands. Oh, Craig Cock, underhanded shuffle, straight through the pack. Umpire didn't see it, and away comes Struck. Gets around now onto the left foot and boots it up into the forward line. 1-on-1, Fiebig out points Vlasic on this occasion. Vlasic caught out of position, and Fiebig, after having a mixed game, you could say, takes a good mark there, and has a chance of getting the ball right into the teeth of the goals for the South Augusta side. With this little bit of breeze, I think he's too far out to score, but he'll no doubt give it his best shot. As the crowd in front of the grandstand have finished viewing the fight, we'll see that Fiebig now. Oh, wobbly pick. He tried to kick it too hard. Doesn't even make 2/3 of the distance. In goes Russell, comes out to Struck. He's got a wall of red and black Guernseys. No way goes Diorio, robbed him beautifully. Gets it back towards the centre, straight through, clean bowled. Gets on towards McDonald. He's got an open run. Rosie's running him down. In goes Lamshed. Beautiful play. Out to Naderborn. Around Mitchell. Naderborn still got the ball. Kicks it up towards the full forward position. But a hurried kick over Kernahan's head and through for 1 point. A couple of good passages of play there. Some desperate defence again. Naderborn just not setting that vital fraction of time just before he kicked it. Although it's easy to say it from up here. The South Augusta full-back again, brings it out, this time looking for Rosie. And Rosie's got it right in the back pocket.
So it's excellent defensive work by Rodney Lamshed then. Rodri worked extremely hard during that passage of play in tackling a couple of players and giving out a couple of bumps. There's Kerrin from half-back right. Goes for distance, wobbly one, Hines in front, and Pat Hines takes that mark. There's no doubt for mine, he's easily best for Souther in this game, and he certainly has worked extremely hard. Players set themselves. Russell Fuller, over the top it goes, off hands, and a throw-in to take place right in front of this huge crowd at Central Oval, Port Augusta. As I said, 4,000 people to see the grand final, and that must be a big lift to the SGL following some fairly disappointing crowds in the earlier matches. There's Page having a run on the ball, goes off hands. We see Tony O'Grady, handballs beautifully to Brandon Collins. Oh, he's met by Rosie, but it's Naderborn cool as he takes that ball in towards attack. Players never really went at the ball. Kerrin gets pushed clear as he chips short looking for Tony Sullivan, and Tony Sullivan will take that mark at half-back right, and he has now the chance to kick South Augusta deeper out of defence. It's a wobbly punt kick holding up. Players set themselves. Over the top goes Page with a fist. Naderborn again. He's been a creative player. That's an awkward one for players. Bouncing awkwardly. Now it's tapped down. We see it goes to Cummins. He couldn't pick up. Oh, beautifully done by Mitchell as he kicks it clear again. South Augusta threatening but can't really break across this half-forward line. Tony O'Grady's there. Gets the handball away. Now it goes towards Benson. In turn to Edmead. Edmead in trouble. Gets a long handball. That's not really effective towards Hogg. Handballed away and turned towards the player in Tony O'Grady. He sets himself as he tries out towards the flank. Dadler's the target. He'll get there first in opposition to Rosie. Now he chips it back short again to the running Robert Diorio. And it's two South Augusta players colliding. Dunkley's a long kick as he goes back to half forward, and the kick and the mark's been taken by Edmead. Handball's in turn towards Cock. Cock to Russell. That's champagne football. Russell chips it short. Beautifully done, South Augusta, as the mark's been taken in short by Corey. Back across the ground, and we see the mark now being taken by Chrissy Struck. He's only 20 metres out, almost directly in front. Oh, this could be a heart stopper as we see Struck giving South Augusta the chance to reduce the margin to only 5 points at about the midway term of the final term in the SGL Premiership. There's the kick. He doesn't miss them, and he has it on this occasion as the red and white banners go aloft. It's only 5 points of difference. A courageous fight back by South Augusta as we see them now trailing 17-19, 121 to South Augusta, 18-8, and that, of course, is 116.
Taking a car onto a racetrack demands thorough preparation of the car, equipment and driver. Experience and skill, hours of work, a team of people and lashings of dollars. Yet some people think that they can drive a car that's not set up for racing as though they're on the racetrack in one of our race cars. Maybe they'll stay lucky for a while, but in the end their luck will run out. Do you want to trust your safety to luck?
Produced in the interests of your safety by South Australia's own insurance office.
15 minutes into the final quarter, 5 points of difference. Stage is set for a thrilling run into the final siren. And that's 4 goals Chris struck. As the umpire puts it down once more. Page on the ball for Central. And Benson for the South. But away it goes through Diorio. He's worked his boot off. As it comes out here, Rosie had a bit of an area as it went past. O'Grady struggling hard to get the ball. Kicks it along in front of him. Now looks up, straightens up. It kicks into the man. Good play by Sullivan there to stop that one. Goes out towards where Kieran handballs to Fox. Fox about to run through the centre. There's plenty of South players running now that the scores run. Oh, up goes Dunkley. Missed it. Thrown away almost by Blashick as it comes towards Fuller. He's fairly cool under Cricey, but he's got 4 or 5 players around him. And it comes to Blashick again. South Augusta players sense victory. They're throwing themselves on the ball as Reed kicks it down towards the forward line. Kieran up high. Gets a bit of a push in the back. Comes out to Naderbaum. This is danger for South Augusta. Naderbaum goes for a couple of bounces. Given it to Evans. Evans steadies.
He's missed.
The goal. What's he done? He's missed. Oh, Eugene Evans. Didn't need that one. Central Augusta could have done with a goal there to give themselves some breathing space. One straight kicked the difference. One straight kicked the difference of the 1982 grand final as Murray Vass with the job in front of him now. Looks to kick out. Where's he going to put it? Short. Out towards where Sullivan's lurking by himself. O'Grady's 5 metres away. I don't know that they gained a lot, but at least it's a kick back into the goals. Now Sullivan, what's he going to do? Brings it up the grandstand flank this time. Pack starts to try. 3 Central Augusta players up, all with the fists in the air. The ball goes forward again. There's O'Grady by himself. Cummins tells him to stay there. Don't do anything silly, so Paul Cummins as he runs back now. And Tony O'Grady, one of the better players of Central Augusta today, despite copping a little bit of a nose straightener early in the game, is out deep in the pocket on these very wide pockets here on Central Oval in Port Augusta. Got the chance to make it 2 straight goals of difference. I should say 3 straight goals of difference. Steadies. There it goes.
Offline.
Only a point, though, for the Central Augusta side, and that could make it awkward, Norm. That's now 13 points, 2-goal 1. That odd point may come in handy.
Roger. 7 points for difference.
Whoops. Oh, sorry.
Here's
oh, goodness, I think I'll calm down.
Here's Vass to kick out. Good-looking kick. Players set themselves. Page up high. There's a million people flying on that occasion. Offhands it goes. Reed's there trying to get his way through. O'Grady carries it with him. Loses possession. Well done by Rosie, but it comes towards the way of Page. Handballs to Diorio. Diorio was met. Now it comes out clear where we see the chance for the player in Sullivan. Been a very good player for South Augusta. Goes short, but that's badly directed by Sullivan on that occasion. It may have been Pasculi, in fact, and Jeffrey Page has taken the mark on half forward left. And no doubt will drive long in towards the full forward area. There he goes, sets himself a good-looking kick, starting to drop short, big group setting, fisted away, Naderbaum's dangerous, tries to get through that pack. Oh, it's marked by the player in Kernahan as the ball was looking dangerous for South Augusta. There's his awkward-looking kick, goes up high, Sanders over the top, couldn't pull in the mark. Central seem to have a few more players running at this stage of the game. As it goes up towards full forward, it will beat players across the line. Yes, it's out of bounds and a throw-in to take place. Only about 10 metres around from the left-hand point post. Central still in attack. Would dearly love to get a goal. There's Parsons. Geez, ruck well. A good-looking hook back towards full forward. It's Cummins and Vass. Oh, who can take it? Oh, I think Cummins almost marked it. No, it's not going to be paid. Umpire Central Augusta players. Oh, he throws the ball away, Paul Cummins. You think he's not very disgusted with that decision? I thought he'd almost looked as if he marked it from here, but we're a long, long way away. And umpire Green took the safety first measure and will bounce on the kick-off line.
Yes, I don't think Paul Cummins thinking glowing thoughts about the umpire just at the moment. Right on the right on the goal line, or right on the edge of the square, I should say.
There's the bounce down. Players set himself. Bradley McDonald over the top. Diorio's there, little chip. He will go towards Robert Rosey. And a left foot kick gets it away. Only as far as John O'Grady. That's been smothered off the boot. Players set themselves. It comes to Doug Rosey. He can't do anything with it as it goes into a wall of players. And about another bounce down to take place. Oh, it's pressure football out there at the moment.
Full forward just at the moment, Norm.
As we see the bounce down taking place. South Augusta desperate to get this ball out of attack. There's the goes towards the player in Parsons. Hooks around his shoulder. There's about 3, 4, 5 red and white jumpers back there. Back to Rosie. Hooks it round the corner, but it will be a chance for Central Augusta as it goes towards Daddler. Beats that player across the line, and a throw-in now to take place in the left full forward position.
Which is plenty of pressure out there at the moment. South Augusta players desperately trying to stop the Central Augusta player from scoring. 7 points down, South Augusta. Central trying to get that one more goal to try and make things a little bit easier as it comes out the lamb shed up towards the wing position, but it's going to be out of bounds on the full, and this will be a Central Augusta kickback. No better player to take it than Fuller, although Newton's going to claim it. He wants a kick. He reckons he hadn't enough so far today. Neville Newton a long way down from his back line. Now kicks it up, a towering screw punt into the forward line. It's 2-1 with South Augusta there as it bounced out. Reid breaks around.
Gets through the done, Reid.
Oh, well done, South Augusta. Murray Vast stopped that one as it goes back out. Only as far as Sanders, who's taken a mark, and Central Augusta have got a line across this half-back line or half-forward line, and South Augusta packing their full-back line. When they kick out, there's a Central Augusta player there to stop it, and it comes straight back in again. Central Augusta employing good tactics at the moment. South Augusta, unfortunately, haven't got much of a choice. Sanders now, a low kick into the forward line. Great pack there. Away goes Lambshed, hits it towards the safety of the boundary line. Diorio tries to stop it, looks for a push in the back, doesn't get it. Lambshed gets it foot to the ball. Evans now pops it back around the corner. Cummins underneath it. There's more fists than Muhammad Ali versus Speaks at the moment as they go into the forward lines again. This time it's O'Grady. He has to get it from there, but no, he's missed it again. And O'Grady now puts another point onto the board as Michael Kerrin was desperately trying to save his side there. So 8 points the difference.
There's some of those players out there, Roger, at the moment are absolutely dead tired, and they're just carrying on in sheer courage at the moment. They're that tired. There's Reid. He fakes that, he pushes to the back, and he gets the free kick. And Reggie Reid, who's done some clever things in this game, has the chance to drive Central's deep back into attack. The Blood and Tars doing all the attacking, but can't get the goal they so desperately need, and that's well judged by the player for South Augusta in Rodney Lambshed, who's been strong and courageous on that last line of defence. There's the handball towards Kerrin. Out wide it goes, no real effect. Reid takes the mark, running in the same direction of the ball. Handball's in turn towards Johnny Hogg. I know where this will go, straight towards goals. Cummins is leading in the race of the ball. Can't gather it in. Tap forward by Kernahan. On that ugly left foot of his as he kicks it back. It's Struck got to set himself. Over the top it comes. Goes clear towards Lambshed. He can hardly walk at the moment. Johnny Hogg's there. Offhands it will go towards Cock. Hogg bursts his way through that pack again. Handball's in turn towards Sanders. Been a good player. And Sanders on that left foot is also offline. Oh, they're just peppering away, but they can't get the goal they need as they creep along to 17-23, 125, and the margin is now 9 points. South are 18-8, 116, as we see Kernahan preparing to kick out a game.
Rodney Lambshed ran into Johnny Hogg, and Rodney Lambshed just gets up. A horrible looking kick coming out towards the back pocket here. Up high goes a couple of Central Augusta players. Sullivan gets an handball around. He'll be caught. Kerrin
on the ball.
Slow. And there'll be a Central Augusta free kick to Robert Diorio.
Oh, silly football.
Oh, silly
Kerrin. He knows it.
Silly play.
Oh, he knows it now.
How about out on the plate, Norm?
Yeah, he knows it now. Look at him holding his hands over his head.
Johnny Reid not happy. There goes the runner.
Oh.
But silly play by Kerrin on that occasion. Bad enough he gave away the free to give away a 15-metre as well. Ooh. In the 25-minute mark of the last quarter, or 24-minute mark, sorry.
Is Diorio, lines it up. A vital kick. This could throw it up. Oh, he's missed as well. Oh, Jingoes, they just can't get a goal. That's number 24 in the number of behinds for Central. I bet they'd love them to be 24 goals at 17-24.
10 points.
And it's now 10 points the difference. Oh, South Augusta would almost think themselves still be lucky to be in the game. There's the kick, out wide, fisted away. Johnny Hogg, can he do it? The captain, the half-back flanker. Oh, I think he's missed as well. Oh, they just can't find the target. What have they kicked in this turn?
Kenny Mitchell will be dying on that bench.
They've kicked something like 11 behinds without a goal so far.
Kenny Mitchell will be slipping the boots on in a minute.
And 11 behind. That's a remarkable performance so far for South Centrals, and not having kicked the goal, and they've had almost all the play. There's the kick by Vast. Up high they go. It's almost a mark in front to Naderbaum. Been an extremely good player in the centre of the ground, and there's no doubt that he'll steady up play now as he sees that clock ticking towards the time on period, with the Blood and Tars holding an 11-point margin.
I think it's big enough.
And there's Naderbaum steadying up play. South are desperate to get it out of defence at the moment. He heads towards goal, sets it up nicely. Players set themselves, big group flying. No one can take it off hands. Now it comes to the pack. Rosie bursts his way through. Cummins gets one, and now we see the ball being bounced again on the kick-off line, and players are absolutely dragging themselves up off the ground as they've been absolutely dog-tired for the last 4 or 5 minutes in trying to battle for their side. Parsons, the tap won by Russell, goes clear. Naderbaum knocks it on. Now it goes out towards the player in McCullum. Oh, Bury gets in his road. He's too slow. He's gone for holding the ball. Oh, he's unlucky on that occasion. Bury got in his road as McCullum had the only chance for him in about 10 minutes for South to break clear. And who's going to have the kick again? None other than Kim Naderbaum. And he's virtually kicked his leg off in this game so far. And he's about 65, 70 metres out in directly in front. Here's Naderbaum. Good looking kick, dropping short. Cummins in there, off ends it goes. Dunkley handballs and turn towards Russell. Russell sets it short. South Augusta through McCullum had the chance to finally break away from that half back line as players have now got to run down the ground. He kicks to his face. Newton's there. Oh, cleverly done, Neville Newton. Had a great final term. This is about his 5th or 6th kick, and he's an experienced player who will try to use the ball to good advantage as he drives long and deep into attack. Sets it up. We see players setting themselves. Off hands it goes. Goes towards McCullum. Well handball towards Struck. Struck with a chance to run the ball deep out of danger. Up high they go. Oh, it's a good mark taken by Robert Feebig. And Feebig, who left the ground in the first half, now has a chance to drive long up towards half forward. Oh, wouldn't this be crazy if South kicked a goal? Off hands it goes. We see Dadley running in the race to the ball. Corey's getting back there, but Dadley's got the best support. Goes out wide. John O'Grady with the ball. Oh, mark at the second attempt. Nearly a Butterfingers job then, and John O'Grady will steady up play as we've got to time on in the grand final. Sets it up high. Kelvin Blasick there, Bury, and it's finally Robert Feebig. No, Bury's still there. South Augusta couldn't get possession of it. Robert Diorio, handball back towards Doug Rosie. Oh, he's that tight, he can hardly get rid of it. There's Lamshed, been a fine player in defence. Across the ground he goes. Badly directed. Oh, have another kick, Kim Naderbaum, as he goes on quickly. Chips it short. Reggie Reed's got away. And Ian Turner's got Eugene Evans loose as well. But Reed now chips it short towards Evans. It's not a very well-directed one, but Evans' handball's clear. Comes towards the player in Vast. He can hardly lift his legs. Runs through his legs. Evans, finally, they've done it, I think. Yeah, they've done it. That would just about pull her up. And Central Augusta get the goal. Eugene Evans. And look at those South Augusta players down there on the goal square. There's about 3 of them. They can hardly believe that they've battled for so long, and they just can't hold the stem of attacks from Centrals any longer, and the players are absolutely dead tired in that last line of defence for South.
Doug Rosie looks sick too.
Central are now 18-25, 133. It's only the points that are the difference. As South are 18-8, 116. That's almost enough. Benson goes towards Struck. Struck does it cleverly, but he doesn't get enough support. Johnny Hogg's strength allows Central the chance to get it clear, and finally it will go back towards the player in Dadler. Sidesteps beautifully. Now he sets as he drives towards half forward. Bradley McDonald's on a long lead. Takes the mark. Handballs to himself, in fact. Now he hooks back in towards half forward again. Players setting themselves. Oh, good mark, Evans. Oh, he's been a match winner on that half forward line. He's been damaging and creative right throughout the major round. And Evans now with a chance to drive long and deep with a 17-point lead, handsomely being held by the Blood and Tars.
Yes, I think it's mothballs to South at this stage. Evans must score on his form today. And the way he's kicked today, you'd think he'd put it through for a major. He's got quite a few goals up his sleeve. Goes back, steady. Gives it a shot.
He's done it on the side.
Central Augusta, 19 goals, 25, 139 points, have defeated South Augusta, 18-8, 116. So a good victory there to Central Augusta, Norm, in a game that had just about everything.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, Roger. It was a great final. Congratulations to Kenny Mitchell, first-year coach for Centrals. and he's taken them top. And Johnny Reid certainly couldn't be too disappointed with his boys. They were beaten, but they were beaten by a better side on the day. And Reid's going across now, I see, to congratulate Brandon Collins and Neville Newton and all the other Central Augusta players and that as well. And it's great support from Johnny Reid. But of course, there's only ever one winner in football, and that's the side who wins the premiership. But I'm sure that the game also was the winner today, because this was a great spectacle by the two best sides in the SGL in season 1982.
When we race a car, thousands of hours go into preparation. We use a top car for a start, first-class equipment and people, lots of experience and heaps of money. The cars we'll use on the roads are designed for comfort and safety at controlled speeds. They're quality vehicles, but they're not set up for racing, and neither are the roads. Racing's for race drivers on the track and for fools on the roads. Which are you?
Produced by SGIC because we care about South Australians.
The 1982 SGL Grand Final between South Augusta and Central Augusta was proudly brought to you by SGIC.